And in Premier League side, Hamilton is. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, no worries.
No, actually will be. They don't love you. There's a damn respect.
Hulk Hogan! We're going. Let me tell you something, brother. We're coming for you. To give up.
That's right. Oh, we'll just down on the halfway line.
Right, I got.
Takes away a bit of time from talking anyway.
Just clearing your pipes. Right, gas central heating systems. I've seen your old boiler. Word of advice, visit BSA Regal. BSA Regal are installed.
Just shove it in the camera.
Gas boilers, fully fitted.
That's
No
right,
worries, no worries.
Don't really like Smurfs.
You get a free power flush with £360 free CO detector. It's gas safe and the boiler parts are guaranteed for 5 years. 1,000 fitted. Search online for BSA Regal. Shops.
We're not even number one.
So we've got about 10 minutes now, so we only need to talk for 7 minutes.
Well, yeah, we'll throw over them as they're walking out.
Yeah, we'll see them. He's here! He's here! No! Surely not!
Where's Paul doing?
You know, commentary is Ben and Jasper. I was going to say.
This is a sick song. To be fair,
banger.
it's a great song.
I don't think anyone apart from me knew it. If anyone apart from wrestling fans know what this is. Imagine that. He's here! No! God, no!
Walked out the tunnel.
We're just talking. I'm like,
Listen to joke.
I'm delighted to be joined by Phil Brooks.
Had that gone off during when we were on, you would have.
I would have just stopped talking about
marked out.
Phil Brooks is joining us now. Hi, Phil. It's a pleasure to be here.
No,
I don't think so. I hope not.
I hope not. Yeah, go for it. Such a perfect song for him.
What's that? Straighten up my tie. Straighten up my tie.
Your tie's a bit loose.
Can you straighten it?
Yeah. You got your top button.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that better? Is that better? Yeah, he said they're going to give a 10-second countdown.
They're not hearing us, are they? Lineups. So there was like, yeah, commentary needs one. Perfect.
Get some prize on the bench towards the match up starts and take a start. And after,
We won't comment on this.
No?
They'll get it.
Will. players have gone back in.
Well done.
Well, I'll get on it.
I only told you 5 minutes ago.
Did you?
Yeah, let it back in.
Oh.
Observant one. You're the lead. You'll get gone.
We're going to get like a minute. Good evening and welcome. I'm Ashley Wilby and this is Linus. I'm crossing now over to our commentary team as they're... Yeah, I'm ready, yeah. That's better.
Oh. Yep, it's loud.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Hampshire FA Senior Cup.
Good evening and welcome to the Hampshire Senior Cup Final. In 1888, this competition was contested for the first time, where Woolston Works came out the winners. Now 130 years on, and St Mary's is the setting for a tie between Southern National League Southside, Havant and Waterlooville, against Wessex Premier League, Blackfield and Langley. I'm Ashley Wilby and I'm delighted to be joined by Linus Harrington to discuss all the action, which is only moments away. Hi Linus.
Yes, actually, absolute pleasure to be here for a competition with 130 years of history, and we're here today to celebrate two teams well worthy of being in this final, and I'm expecting a great game between two sides worthy of being here.
Absolutely, we see 44 places separate these two sides, 2 divisions. Can Blackfield and Langley do anything to cause an upset tonight?
Well, in a game of football, 90 minutes, anything can happen. Football renowned for the unexpected to happen, so don't be surprised if Blackfield and Langley come out with all the fire in the world and we're looking to cause an upset.
Well, when you look at the run-ins these teams have had, I mean, Blackfield can't be taken lightly, surely. I mean, 14 goals in the run-ins of this competition, haven't conceded a goal. How much of a boost must that be?
Well, a solid defence is a key to winning anything. And like you said, they've had a great run in, beating some top sides. They beat Winchester in the semi-finals, who took Havant and Waterlooville to the final, into the penalties just 2 years ago. So they can do it against top sides, something with all the confidence against Havant today.
I mean, recently as well, Havant did win the competition, as you said, back in 2016, looking to make it 2 out of 3 years. Blackfield never made it to the final before. Manager Glenn Howes is inexperienced at this level, but surely the team, they must just go out tonight and think, you know what, we're just going to give it a go.
Well, it's a chance to make history, to be the first players for Blackfield and Langley to lift this trophy. That's actually motivation enough, let alone the fact they're playing at a big stadium in front of a good turnout. They'll be fully motivated for this cup final.
And I mean, we look at Lee Bradbury, the Havant boss. He has had 500 league games in professional football as it stands, and also now managing, he used to be caretaker manager of Burnley, and they have got a tight promotion push at the moment to try and get into the conference. Will that be an added distraction? The manager has said that he will rotate tonight, but we've seen Matt Tubbs and James Hayter are starting, so what do you think?
Well, the focus has to be entirely on the league, because to get into the conference, be that one step away from the professional league system. That's an incredible step for Havant and Waterlooville, but it's 90 minutes. The guys that are going to get rotated into this squad are going to think, this is my chance to prove myself. They're going to give it all they've got, and no one wants to lose a cup final. Like, if you find anyone out there wants to lose a cup final, I'll find you a liar, because this is a chance to lift silverware, a big part of any player's career. So they're not going to be giving this, they're not going to take it lightly in the slightest.
Obviously, a lot of pedigree going in that I haven't seen. As we just mentioned, Matt Tubbs, James Hayter, former Doncaster, Crawley, Bournemouth, pedigree all there. How key is that experience for this side?
Well, it's a lot for Blackfield and Langley to come up against, isn't it? If they want to beat history, they're going to have to play against a set of players that are well experienced in professional football. That is going to be an added bonus for Havant, undoubtedly, having those players that have played at a higher level. But, you know, like I said, 90 minutes of football. Blackfield and Langley have got here because they deserve to be here, so they're going to be giving their all.
Absolutely. Well, Havant's record attendance ever was 5,000 in an FA Cup match against Millwall a few years back. I don't think we're going to see that tonight, but how key is the support going to be from the Blackfield faithful, especially tonight?
Well, it's a 12th man. You can hear what the crowd is just hearing the lineups. And some players just coming out now. So, you know, the Blackfield, they're going to need the support behind them, but so I haven't, you know. But I think it's crucial to have that team behind you, and let's just see how this game is going to go.
Absolutely. So we're hoping for an absolutely cracking tie. Make sure you join us back at half-time. The teams are coming out now, so that only means one thing. We're going to cross over to our commentary team, Ben Johnson and Jasper Shiner.
Henry Howes. And the manager is Glenn Howes. His assistants are James Woods and Chris Farrell. And for Havant and Waterlooville, all white kit. Number 13, Ben to the scissors king.
Let's get off in a second.
Playing conditions, both teams just going through their final preparations ahead of kickoff. We'll wait and see what happens.
With Havant and Waterlooville winning the tournament 2 years ago, would you say that they are favourites going into the game?
Most definitely. They've got some brilliant league form at the moment. They're sitting second in their division, chasing automatic promotion to the National Premier League. They're definitely the heavy favourites. They've gone with a strong lineup this evening, and you know, Blackfield and Langley are very much the underdogs.
Well, we'll just have to see if Blackfield and Langley, with the nickname the Watersiders, can splash onto this cup final and cause an upset.
Kick-off just minutes away.
Both teams just in the centre circle at the moment, just going through the proceedings. Havant and Waterlooville all in white, Blackfield and Langley all in green.
Havant will be kicking from right to left, Blackfield and Langley from left to right.
So do you think there's a certain player in particular that should be looking out for during the game?
Keep an eye out for number 11, Sam Griffin of Blackfield and Langley in a green shirt. He's their top scorer this season, has been banging the goals in for fun in the division. And then if you're looking at the Havant and Waterlooville side, you'd say that Matt Tubbs, an ex-Portsmouth striker, he's their top scorer in the competition this year with 6, I believe. The referee just checking with the goalkeepers.
And here we go, the 2018 Hampshire Cup final is underway at St Mary's Stadium. Havant at Waterlooville just passing it round slowly at the moment to start the game. Number 15, Lee Molyneux, just passing it out wide as the game gets underway. It's a long ball forward, 50-50 challenge. Blackfield and Langley struggling to get any touches on the ball at the moment.
Both teams will be looking to settle down early in this game and get some good solid possession.
And Havant Waterlooville in possession of the ball at the moment. Long ball forward, intercepted by Blackfield and Langley. They'll try and get a hold on this game as soon as possible with being the underdogs.
Havant centre half splitting very wide for goal kicks here early on, Ben. They're looking to play the ball out from the back using the goalkeeper as a spare man. It's really stretching the pitch.
And once again, it's Havant and Waterlooville in possession of the ball as the ball is sprayed across the pitch.
Good touch from Jordan Rose there. Havant and Waterlooville seemingly dominating possession early on in the game. Blackfield and Langley sitting off them, not particularly pressing them high up the pitch.
Do you think this is going to be a good tactic by Blackfield and Langley by just slowly coming into the game with being the underdogs?
I think so. I think it's probably the best way for them to go is kind of get a foothold in the game, not give away an early goal, and then really look to kind of build on their performance as the game goes on.
Robinson now. Jordan Ross spraying the ball forward into the box.
Well collected by the keeper.
Langley keeper collected it easily. How important do you think the first 10 minutes are for Blackfield and Langley playing in their first Hampshire Cup final?
It'll be very important for them just to keep their cool, not to let the occasion get to them. And as I said, they need to kind of grow into this game, get a foothold, see where they can cause problems for Havant and Waterlooville. They seem to be splitting their central defenders quite wide, so there are spaces to be exploited.
Havant and Waterlooville there conceding the first foul of the game. A team coming into this final not even conceding a goal in the tournament so far. Do you think something like that will give them confidence playing against a team that are 2 divisions above them?
Very much so. You know, if you can get to a final of a competition without conceding, they'll no doubt want to preserve that. It shows that they've got a solid base, and if you've got a solid defence, that's always a great thing. And if you can come into a game knowing that you're not going to concede too many goals, you're always in the chance of winning the match.
Havant Waterlooville this season doing very well in the league, looking to go back up into the National League.
Yeah, they've been on fire since the turn of the year, losing just 20 games. Just losing twice in 20 games.
Goes out wide now. It's Havant Waterloo try to break down this Blackfield and Langley defence. Madley Ridge now, block shot.
So Hawks manager Lee Bradbury carefully considered his approach to this game. He wanted to lift the trophy but prioritised the league because they want to finish champions and get promotion. He said he was going to play a slightly weakened side, but he did want to win. Looking at the team sheet, he's left out a few players, but you know, we've still got the big names in there. We've still got James Hayter, we've still got Matt Tubbs. You know, it's still a very strong starting 11.
Ball forward. Liam Robinson now in the corner. Franklin Clark now brings it back into the centre of midfield. It's a wasted opportunity there by Blackfield and Langley as Havant Waterloo now have a throw-in.
Miscontrolled there by Franklin Clark. That'll be a real shame. He took up a very good position on the right wing there.
You mentioned that they're playing quite a strong lineup. Do you think the likes of James Hayter and Matt Tubbs will be feared by Blackfield and Langley coming up against players that maybe are the best quality that they've faced so far?
I would think so. They both got experience of playing in higher divisions in the Football League, you know, with teams like Bournemouth and Portsmouth. You know, you look at their names on the team sheet and you know, you may well fear them a bit, but they'll no doubt have them earmarked as men to watch closely. Just a note for Jason Pryor, who isn't in the starting 11 today. He is actually he's currently Havant Waterlooville's top scorer this season with 19 goals in all competitions. He doesn't make the team. He is on the bench, however. May well see him second half.
Ball just goes out of play there as Havant Waterloo tried to break on the wing.
So we mentioned Blackfield and Langley's form. They've lost just one in their last 20 games in the league. They've got a lot of goal scorers in their side. Sam Griffin, their top scorer, with 27 goals this season in 53 appearances. He was voted the Supporters Player of the Season earlier this week.
And do you think that's a player that Havant Waterlooville will be thinking that's the danger man in the team?
Most definitely, most definitely. You know, if Blackfield and Langley will be thinking if they can make a clear-cut opportunity for him based on his form this season and how clinical he's been in front of goal, that he may well find the net.
Havant Waterlooville looking to find some space now as they go forward with number 22 Marley Ridge, and the ball goes straight to the goalkeeper at Blackfield and Langley, just proving how tough they have been to break down in this Hampshire Cup so far this season.
Both teams looking to play out from the back if they can. Quite interesting that at this level that they are trying to play good football, obviously making use of the surface at St Mary's. They're obviously used to not quite a higher quality pitch. It may well be a good opportunity for both sides to play some really good football this evening.
And do you think that's a reason why both teams have done so well in their respective leagues this season?
I think so. I think you know, both teams try and play good football if they can. They try and keep the ball. They try and move it around, as shown at the moment. You know, they're not afraid to go backwards and keep possession and play through the lines. You know, I think Blackfield and Langley will be very happy with how they've started this game. They've had some good possession. They've moved Havant and Waterlooville around. They've looked fairly comfortable.
It's a throw-in now to Blackfield and Langley. Lewis Tallack with the ball as it comes back into play. Lee Molyneux gets some control as Havant Waterloo look to break.
As far as I can see, Havant are playing almost a system with the back three with wing backs this evening. Number 24, Alfie Whittingham, is almost playing as a right wing back. He's dropping off quite deep.
It's a shot right now and saved.
I was just saying
First effort of the game by Alfie Rutherford there.
I was just saying that Alfie Whittingham seems to be dropping into the back five defensively, but is then getting forward at every opportunity. Scuffed kick from the goalkeeper.
Havant Waterlooville in control of this game at the moment. And another foul. Should we really recognise how much of an achievement this has been for Blackfield and Langley to get to the final? Havant Waterlooville familiar with this type of scene. We've been victorious here in 2016 by winning on penalties against Winchester. Do you think with Blackfield and Langley, do you think they're happy with just getting to the final, or do you really think that they want to win this tournament?
I think they'll be proud of getting to the final, but I mean, you mentioned Winchester City. Blackfield and Langley actually beat them in the semi-final, so you know they've played some top-quality opposition throughout the rounds. You know, early rounds they demolished Folland Sports 8-0. Third round they came through 2-0 against Tabby Calaver. Quarterfinals they beat AFC
lost
Porchester.
Ball there as Blackfield and Langley tried to get possession of the ball, cleared by Lee Molyneux.
They beat AFC Porchester in the quarterfinals, and then obviously in the semi-finals they beat Winchester City 1-0 to reach the final today. So it's not like they had an easy run. They've played good quality opposition, and they'll definitely be looking to try and capitalise on that and you know win the cup. Fans in fine voice now across from us.
The cup final brings the best out of everyone. Ooh, nasty challenge there by Blackfield and Langley player.
Big men coming forward from the back for this one. Number 17, Jordan Rose, is quite tall, big and physical. He'll be one to keep an eye out. He'll be a target. Lingering at the back post.
James Hayter, very familiar with scoring from set pieces and cup finals. Ryan Stock delivers into the box. Alfie Whittingham. It's crossed in. Chance, and it's just over.
A beautiful ball in from the left-hand side, curling towards the right post. Teasing cross. The goalkeeper didn't know whether to come and collect or headed down into the ground and bounced over the bar. Really should have finished that then. Could have been 1-0 Havant Waterlooville. First chance of the game.
A team like Blackfield and Langley need to make sure that they're tight at the back. They've been tight at the back throughout the whole of this cup campaign. To concede a goal like that would have been the worst possible start. Blackfield and Langley starting to come forward now.
There's some very nice off-the-ball movement from the Blackfield and Langley forward line. They're interchanging positions, moving the right and left winger, changing sides. It's very fluid.
And we've got number 12, Alfie Rutherford. It's just a bit too much and it chases away from him.
So we mentioned earlier that there's quite a gap between the two sides. There are actually 44 league places between the two teams. So it's quite a gap in terms of the league pyramid, but so far in this game there hasn't been too much between the teams. Havant Waterlooville definitely looking a little bit more dangerous going forward, but both sides having a fair share of possession. And
with the gap between the two teams, do you think there's added pressure on Havant Waterloo, let alone it being a final?
Most definitely. I think, you know, coming into any final with the tag as the favourites, you've got that added pressure of knowing that everyone's expecting you to win. You know, based on where they are in the league and how their fortunes have been this season, the run they're on, they will be not only high on confidence, but they'll be expecting of themselves a good performance and to win this competition. And
with a number of players from being in the team from 2 years ago, the experience is high.
Yeah, goalkeeper Ryan Young, Dan Stragnall, Lee Molyneux, Theo Lewis, Andy Robinson, James Hayter, all players that have been on this stage before and played at this level.
And Lee Bradbury going into his 6th year as manager at Havant and Waterlooville. And the ball just goes out of play. Just coming up to 15 minutes gone in the cup final, and at the moment, who would you say is on top?
I'd say that Havant are maybe just on top at the moment. They've created the only clear-cut chance of the game. But, you know, Blackfield and Langley have caused problems when they've gone forward. Their movement off the ball is good. They'll just be hoping that their forward players can maybe retain a bit more possession. Havant are definitely kind of dictating play and the pace and the tempo of the game. We've seen a nice few interchanges in midfield, and that's a lovely diagonal ball down the line.
Charlie Tuttle now crosses in, but intercepted by a Blackfield and Langley player.
Oh, that's well escaped.
Headed by the captain, as Havant and Waterlooville regain possession. As you can see from the position of the players, do you really think that they've got two units trying to keep 0-0 for as long as possible and possibly go on a counter-attack?
Yeah, I think Blackfield and Langley are definitely sitting off and playing a counter-attack style of football. They seem to be kind of sitting in their own half, almost waiting for Havant to kind of come into their side of the field before they start pressing, closing down. And as we can see here, one of the forwards for Blackfield and Langley is down, getting some medical attention. Players just taking a water break, heading over to their respective dugouts.
We've got Leroy Plummer, who's down at the moment for Blackfield and Langley, as the players just take a rest, recompose themselves, as we've had 15 minutes gone in this Hampshire Cup final at St Mary's Stadium.
There's no doubt that the players will be getting some tactical messages here, maybe a few pointers, that sort of thing. You know, so far in the game, we've seen some nice interchanging midfield from Havant and Waterlooville, but they haven't been particularly direct. They've been keeping a lot of possession with their back three. They'll be looking to go and get the ball forward, maybe quicker into their front men, get players in and around them, and start causing some problems for this Blackfield and Langley side. You know, they've only created the one clear-cut opportunity so far in this game, and I think that they'll be wanting and hoping to maybe create a few more before the half's out.
And do you believe that Glenn Howe's manager, you think he'll be happy with the performance so far? Most
definitely. The commitment from his players so far has been brilliant. All you would say is that they have covered a lot of ground early on, and if this pattern of play continues, they will tire.
Havant Waterlooville trying to get the ball on the deck as it goes out wide.
Number 12, Alfie Rutherford, has been the standout so far for me. He's had a few nice touches, he's regained possession a few times, he's floating around the midfield, switching wings.
I've got the captain. Ball goes out wide. Has got Andres Robinson on the ball as it comes into the centre of midfield. Sees the ball again and puts it out wide.
Nice little 1-2 interchange down the right wing there.
And it's cleared by Blackfield and Langley. Possibly the first sign of them hanging on.
I wouldn't go so far to say that they're hanging on just yet, but they're definitely looking a bit more stretched at the back. Some really nice little interchanges in and around the penalty area there from Havant and Waterlooville. You can already see that they're starting to kind of get the ball out wide and they're looking to deliver into the box.
And do you think that Havant and Waterlooville have targeted the two full-backs on either side?
I think that number 2 is being targeted quite heavily. There's a lot of balls coming down this left-hand side of the pitch. Whether that's because Havant are feeling that their left-hand side is maybe their stronger wing, or whether they are particularly targeting that right fullback, who knows.
Blackfield and Langley now with a throw-in in the Havant and Waterlooville half. Getting cleared quite easily. It's Havant and Waterlooville clearly dominating the game midfield, but lost ball there by the captain.
Beautifully floated ball to back post and a scuffed chance. Huge chance there for Blackfield and Langley, but he just mistimed the volley. Should really have done better with that, and we would have hoping for a shot on target.
Chances like that won't come along that often, and do you really think that Havant and Waterlooville will learn their lesson now?
You know, it's good signs for them. You know, they've started to kind of create chances, and that's what they'll be hoping to do. was a beautiful lofted ball over the corner of the shoulder of the defender. It was just a mistimed effort from the striker, and he'll be hoping that, you know, the next one that comes along, he can deliver maybe a higher quality finish.
It's an overlap there. It's Havant Waterlooville now, just outside the box. Block shot.
Brilliant block there from the centre half. Come out and close down very, very quickly.
Robinson now with the ball.
Blackfield and Langley showing why their defence has been so stern in this competition.
And it's cleared. Blackfield and Langley will just want to get it up the pitch to give the defence a breather for a second, but once again they've lost the ball. It's a great ball forward.
It's a very late challenge there from one of the Blackfield and Langley defenders. Uprooting Alfie Rutherford, sorry. Another free kick just off the edge of the area now. This one close enough at an angle where you'll be assuming they're going to have an attempt on goal.
Two teams coming from leagues that rarely see a lot of goals from set pieces. To concede now would be very, very disappointing. Number of players over the ball, discussion who's going to take it.
Number 4, Brian Stock, looking interested, as well as number 10, Matt Tubbs. That's Charlie Tuttle walking away from the free kick. It looks like it's going to be number 4, Brian Stock, the captain. Brad Snelling setting 4-man wall.
Shoots, and it's over.
Just over the bar. I think he'll be disappointed with that effort. He got a nice bit of bend on it, but he just didn't get the dip. The ball floating just over the bar.
20 minutes into this Hampshire Cup final, and it's Blackfield Langley 0. Havant Waterlooville 0.
Blackfield and Langley will be looking to get Sam Griffin in the game more. I haven't seen very much from him in these early stages, and as their standout player so far this season, you'd really be expecting him to kind of step up in this fixture. But he's been very, very quiet in the opening phase. Credit to Havant Waterlooville for keeping him quiet.
Oh, the centre half like Lee Molyneux at the back, possibly commanding the defence, would we say so? They haven't had a lot to do, but he looks like someone who's be a leader.
Yeah, very much so. The Havant Waterlooville defence have looked very composed so far. The 3 centre halves are kind of knocking the ball around quite nicely. I've been very impressed with 24 Alfie Whittingham, who seems to be doing quite a good job on Sam Griffin, as I mentioned. He's getting forward at every opportunity and is always in a lot of space out on that right-hand flank, so they'll be looking to switch the play out there as much as possible.
Stock now.
Good press there from Blackfield and Langley, 2 players closing down very, very quickly.
And would you say that there's certain times in the game where Blackfield and Langley will probably have 2 players on a Havant Waterloo player when they're in possession of the ball?
Yeah, they are doubling up every now and again. They still seem to be kind of waiting for the ball to come into their half before they start pressing. I imagine that's to conserve energy, because they are seeing less and less of the ball as the game goes on. Havant starting to kind of dictate the play and definitely hold more possession of the ball, winning it back quite quickly when they do lose it. Plenty of space out here on the
Robinson
left-hand
now
side.
in the middle. Robinson collects it again from the wing. There's so much space in front of him.
You just have to feel that Havant Waterlooville players here have got quite a lot of space in front of them, and someone needs to take responsibility and start running forward with the ball and committing players instead of going sideways.
Robinson again in possession. Good pass out wide to number 12. Alfie Rutherford. Crossed and went blocked. It's out for a throw-in. And once again, Havant Waterlooville well and truly in control of this game.
Whittingham will be disappointed with that delivery. He'll be hoping that he can beat the first man in wide positions and deliver a quality ball into the box there.
So much space in front. Do you think this could come back to bite Blackfield and Langley, as it's Robinson now on the ball?
They do seem to be sitting deeper and deeper as the half goes on. A great effort across goal, narrowly wide of the right-hand post. Whittingham with a great left-footed shot across the goal there. Had the keeper scrambling. Score remains 0-0.
Best chance of the half so far?
Definitely up there. I think it was a clear sighting of goal. He'll be hoping to hit the target for sure, but I think that the header earlier in the half was definitely a clearer opportunity, and you know, to head down and over the bar. But you know, Havant are starting to get more and more opportunities now. They're finding spaces, and they're starting to cause some real problems for the Blackfield and Langley back line.
Ball goes forward, and we can now see Ben Jasinski.
He's had a very, very quiet first half so far. He's only really touched the ball when the ball's been played back to him or to take goal kicks.
Robinson again. Havant Waterlooville losing the ball every so often when they try and go forward. Long ball forward, Molyneux winning the header.
James Hayter here, pressing the Blackfield and Langley back four.
Long ball forward. What can Blackfield and Langley do with it? Goes out for a throw. You think they just need a couple of minutes, Blackfield and Langley, just to get on the ball, pass it around a little bit, just feel a little bit more comfortable?
Yeah, very much so. They need to start holding on to a bit more possession in Havant and Waterlooville half, and start moving them around. You know, they're giving up a lot of possession, and they're going to be, you know, covering a lot of yardage to close down the Havant and Waterlooville side. Free kick.
Appeals for a free kick there, as Blackfield and Langley start to slowly come more into this game.
The game really ebbing and flowing here. It seems to drift in and out at the moment. We've had phases of strong attacking play from Havant, and then periods where, you know, the ball has been very much in the middle third of the pitch. Both sides will be actually looking to kind of maybe get the ball into the opposition third more often here. They might start to go a bit more direct soon.
Franklin Clark standing over the ball, hoping to whip in a delivery that can cause Havant and Waterlooville a threat.
Players jostling just outside the penalty area. Bit of pushing and shoving.
Clark to take.
Comfortable catch for the keeper there. It's a poor delivery. Bit too close to the goalkeeper.
Robinson now, just out on the wing with the ball.
Havant and Waterlooville are then again there, playing out from the back from the goalkeeper. Kind of breaking that stereotype for non-league outfits. You know, we expect these sort of sides to maybe be a bit more direct, play long balls, and this is very much a kind of a different approach today. They've, you know,
Oh, mistake there as Havant Waterlooville get the ball back, and another pass that just goes astray.
They're just lacking that little bit of quality in the final third at the moment, aren't they? Need a bit more of a clinical edge to their final pass. 2 or 3 times now they've, you know, hit a Blackfield and Langley defender or not quite got the delivery just right. Strikers very much feeding off scraps for both sides so far. Offside.
So what we've seen so far, is there a certain player for Havant Waterlooville that you think could be the danger man?
I think so far this half, Alfie Rutherford has stood out. He had that nice shot that dragged just wide of the post. He's picked up a good positions on the left wing a few times. He's drifting around, causing issues in that kind of attacking midfield role. I'd say that Alfie Whittingham, who seems to be playing at a right wing back, he's been very impressive. A lot of good attacks have come through him. The ball's sprayed out to him now.
Havant Waterlooville will be looking to expose the flanks, as they have been targeting these areas throughout the whole game.
So it's areas like this where they've had possession and they've gone backwards too often for me, Ben. You know, if I were the manager, I'd be hoping that they would be looking for forward balls and looking to kind of get the ball out wide. Instead, too many times they've gone backwards here.
James
Again,
Hayter now with the ball,
pondering on the ball, pushing the back there. Referee not giving that.
Decisions like that aren't going to be coming across easily.
Number 20, Charlie Tuttle, seemingly getting a nudge in the back and falling to the floor, and the referee waving it away. Short throw in. Poor touch there from number 8, Sean Stewart. Inviting the pressure on, giving away the possession in his own half.
Robinson again. Robinson's featured a lot in this game so far. How do you think his delivery and passing's been?
I think that he's definitely seems to be the man in the midfield.
Just gone over there. Shot by number 17, Jordan Rose.
He definitely seems to be the man in the midfield, controlling the tempo of the game. He's that kind of deep-lying playmaker. I think you're looking at players like him to start maybe playing a few more forward balls. You know, get the wide men involved, get the forward players involved. We haven't seen a lot from you know, players like Matt Tubbs, and you'd be looking to get them involved as much as possible, especially with the quality, you know, that he's got.
Sterling gets the ball forward. Brilliant header by Andreas Robinson there.
Blackfield and Langley doing a great job to pick up all of the second balls here. They're battling for everything.
Ball goes out of play. Havant Waterlooville again receiving the ball. Marley Ridge now passing it to Jordan Rose. The ball into the defence.
There is a lot of time and space for the midfielders and the centre halves of Havant and Waterlooville, and it's balls like that is letting them down at the moment. You know, they've got possession, they've got time, and they're giving it away too cheaply for me at the moment.
Well, a team that's coming through all the cup games so far without conceding clearly have a plan that has worked so far.
That was number 9, Leroy Plummer, spinning away from the central defender, colliding and falling to the ground. The referee again waving away any sort of claim for a free kick.
Would you be worried about how much space and time the Havant Waterloo players have got, especially the likes of James Hayter there?
Blackfield and Langley seem to be, as we've said several times this half, they seem to be sitting off quite deep and are quite happy for Havant to have the ball in their own half. You know, it's working for them well so far. They're very much picking up the second balls and you know, they're intercepting. What's not working for them at the moment is they don't seem to have an out ball. Leroy Plummer's running a lot, he's running the channels, but they just can't hold the ball in the final third for Havant Waterlooville at the moment. It just keeps coming back at them, wave after wave. You can only feel that it's a matter of time for Havant at the moment.
Or with a team that's focused on promotion as well as winning this cup final this evening, you can definitely understand that they may be just coming into the game slowly. James Hayter now with the ball, sprays it out wide.
Beautifully controlled on the chest and pushed to the floor there by the Blackfield and Langley. Free kick wide on the right hand side. Again, Alfie Whittingham, the man involved.
And the ball just to kind of cut open the Blackfield and Langley defence there by James Hayter. Do you think that's his experience from playing in the Football League coming through there? Yeah,
if you're Havant, you're looking to those sort of players, the James Hayters, to maybe grab this game by the scruff of the neck now and really assert some dominance. They're in control. Let's see what they can do here.
Stock delivers into the box.
Beautifully floated free kick. Good shape on the cross. Well contested in the centre box. Out here on the left wing.
Stock again. Keeper punches.
Strong punch from the goalkeeper there. Out for a throw-in. Brad Snelling's done a very, very good job there. He's relieved the pressure in his defence. May have collided with the striker and his own central defender. Down holding his head.
Half an hour gone, and Blackfield and Langley are doing what they've done so far in this tournament by still not conceding a goal.
Frustrating their opponents for sure. They're proving that that their defence is solid. I just feel that if you're a Blackfield and Langley supporter, you'd be hoping to see maybe a little bit more in terms of offence from your side. And as this half goes on, the two guys up front are very, very much disconnected from the rest of the team at the moment, and they're struggling to kind of get a foothold in the game in the final third for Havant.
Do you think this is a moment in the game which Blackfield and Langley will be happy to have received? You know, stoppage in play, just kind of compose themselves, talk with one another, and just kind of kill the flow of the game?
Yeah, these sorts of stoppages are definitely good for Blackfield and Langley. It gives them a rest. It allows them to regroup. Each other, they can talk between each other, work out who should be covering who, that sort of thing. Havant and Waterlooville here, very much in control of this final. They've got a lot of cup pedigree. Just a few years ago, they managed to make it to the 4th round of the FA Cup, scoring twice at Anfield. Their run included a 4-2 win over Swansea, who were then in the Championship, managed by Roberto Martinez. So they have been to these sorts of, they've got history in cup competitions. They do go on good cup runs. And we know already that you mentioned earlier that they've been to the Hampshire Cup final before multiple times and were winners just a couple of years ago.
Well, with Havant and Waterlooville, they have been known as a team that can do well in cup competitions, as you've mentioned, and the Hawks will be hoping to fly again into another cup victory this evening. Charlie Tuttle now with the ball as the game is about to get back underway, with Jordan Rose just out of the game for a second as he just composed himself after his clash with Brad Snelling. Bad mistake there by Rutherford, who's had a good game so far.
Yeah, he's had moments. He's had moments of quality and moments of mistakes, and he'll be looking. I mean, he himself will know that he can do better there. They've got them penned in deep here. Havant Waterlooville really piling the pressure on now, dominating the possession.
Captain Brian Stock with the ball in midfield. No one closing him down.
It's here in that situation I want to see Brian Stock maybe run past his man, commit a player. You almost feel like Havant and Waterlooville are giving Blackfield and Langley too much respect at the moment, and they're playing around them outside of the box. Blackfield and Langley will be very happy with this. You know, the ball's in front of them. There's nothing that's turning the defenders and making them go backwards.
And again, lost possession by Havant and Waterlooville.
Here it is. This is where they'll be looking to counter.
And Molyneux just gets the ball cleared there. Again, showing his prowess in defence there.
Yeah, great sliding challenge, but this is what we said earlier in half. Leroy Plummer there has made a brilliant run into the channel. He's received the ball, miscontrolled it. He needs to do better there for his side. He needs to get it under control, hold the ball up and let support catch up with him. Another lofted ball.
Chance. Plummer. And it's just over.
Blaze over the bar. It's a good opening snapshot, half chance. It was on the rise, so it's a difficult technique, but he does screw it over the bar.
With Plummer playing up front, do you think a lot of the time he has to do the work, but also the delivery and service has to be there for himself?
Yeah, the delivery does have to be better. We've seen a few balls that have been floated to the kind of the far post in this first half. That definitely seems to be a tactic from Blackfield and Langley to kind of play that diagonal ball to over the centre back's shoulder. Plummer definitely looking the most dangerous of the forwards. I've been very disappointed with Sam Griffin in his first half. He doesn't seem to be doing a lot off that left-hand side. He isn't getting involved. He's doing a lot of defensive work for his side, and he's working hard, but you'd be hoping that someone who scored 27 goals in 53 appearances this season, that he'd be, asserting himself in the game a lot more.
Stock wins a header in midfield, but the ball's just bouncing around at the moment as both teams struggling to get the ball under control. Head tennis at the moment.
Good clearance.
Cleared by Molyneux.
Blackfield and Langley are having periods and spells of possession, but again, giving the ball away needlessly there.
Hater. Robinson there. Stock just passing it around.
Beautiful interchange in the midfield there between players.
And Marley Ridge just losing it, but Stock there trying to win it back. And again broken down, and Havant Waterlooville back in possession with Robinson.
They are regaining the ball very, very quickly when they lose it. They're pressing well as a unit, closing down in ones and twos.
Molyneux coming forward with the ball. And a touch for the spectator most of the game so far.
Dudzinski's have a very, very quiet game. The only time he's really touched the ball has been for goal kicks. Coming close to half-time. Can either of the teams grab a goal before the whistle?
Hater looking to get it back, and he does.
It's all very pretty
Stock
football.
to Hater.
It's very pretty football from Havant, but it's not been very effective so far.
Blocked, and it's a corner for Havant Waterlooville.
Late corner in the half. They'll be bringing the big men forward from the back. We'll be looking for a quality delivery into the box here to maybe sign off in style.
How important is it that Blackfield and Langley keep an eye on the likes of Matt Tubbs and James Hater?
Very, very important. I think the big guys like Jordan Rose are definitely a set-piece threat. Looking to maybe take the short free. Ball's whipped in.
Whipped in.
Good clearing header. Blackfield and Langley will be trying to get to half-time, preserving it at 0-0, and they'll think that that's a job well done if they do.
Comes out, and it's whipped back in. Snelling palms it away.
Blackfield and Langley struggling to clear their lines here.
Marley Ridge brings the ball back into play, and it's now in the box for Havant Waterlooville.
Shot on the turn.
Chance for Jordan Rose.
Brilliant save! Brad Snelling with a superb reaction save at the end of the first half, keeping his side in the tie, 0-0.
What a chance, and the control by Jordan Rose. It's something that you would see from a centre forward.
Unbelievable touch from the centre half and a great snapshot, but the reactions from the goalkeeper to keep it out, superb. He's done well when called upon in this first half, Snelling. Wasn't such a great punch, but made up for it in the following seconds.
Snelling coming to the rescue for the Watersiders, who are hoping to make a splash in this cup final. Ball's just out of play at the moment. It's Havant Waterlooville hoping to take the lead before half-time.
Another
Captain Stock
ball.
sprays it across.
It's a tactic we're seeing quite often from Brian Stock. That's a poor touch there from the right wing back. That's a cynical challenge.
Foul.
Cynical challenge there from Alfie Whittingham.
And how important that Sam Griffiths has finally got himself into the game with that run.
Very important, and you can see there that Whittingham at the first opportunity stopped him before he could make any inroads. They very much earmarked him as a man to watch and keep tabs on. That's a yellow card there for Alfie Whittingham for that late challenge.
First yellow card of this cup final. As Havant Waterlooville have probably shown a little bit of frustration with not going 1-0 ahead.
I think so. You know, they very much controlled the majority of this first half. The play's been nice. They maybe haven't asserted themselves in the final third. The delivery, the quality in the final third hasn't quite been there. I think Snelling's had an outstanding first half. He's made a couple of good saves. Havant Waterlooville had a few chances, but really should be in the lead here.
Free kick comes into the box now.
Ooh, it's a chance. Missed by two central defenders, and it floats past the right-hand upright. Two Blackfield and Langley strikers are there, but can't react quickly enough. And here we see again Havant Waterlooville playing out short from the back.
Jordan Rose denied just a couple of minutes ago.
I've been very impressed with his deliveries from deep. He's looking forward and
Ball sprayed across, and once again Havant Waterlooville are failing to break down this Blackfield and Langley defence.
they've stuck to their task in this first half, worked very, very hard. You do feel, though, if this pattern of play continues in the second half, they will tire as the game goes on. And with players like Jason Pryor, who we know can score goals, you know, on the bench for Havant and Waterlooville, who they can call upon if needed, you still would back them as favourites.
Even with the fact that they've got another game coming up at the weekend.
They've got strength and depth in their squad. They've rotated a few players here. As I've said, they're resting Pryor. There is a gap between the two teams in quality. It's starting to show on the pitch. You know, eventually it will tell. And for Havant and Waterlooville, they'll be hoping that it's sooner rather than later.
Matt Tubbs there with a ball. It's dispossessed as Blackfield and Langley now hope to try and just keep the ball for a couple of minutes.
Griffin dispossessed.
Robinson now. Molyneux now in possession of the ball. And it goes out wide.
Tuttle.
Smiley Ridge.
And here you see number 12 again with a nice pirouette in the middle of the pitch, creating space for his runners. So again, another poor ball in the final third.
Hafton just headers it down, and Robinson now twisting and turning.
You can see here that the three centre halves are very comfortable in possession of the ball. Happy to come out from deep.
Jordan Rose now just
surging run.
Bursting past the defenders there.
Knocked down by Lerone Plummer from behind. He's done well there to track back all that way.
Hater now. Passes out now to Robinson. Jordan Rose.
Rose staying forward.
Robinson shoots.
Oh,
and it's in.
cracking goal! A
1-0.
mistake from the goalkeeper. Brad Snelling at his near post, letting the ball through his palms.
Havant and Waterlooville are very known for their cup success. 2016 winners, and now they're 1-0 up in the 2018 Hampshire Cup final.
Andreas Robinson from outside the 18-yard box with a fine drive, but I have to feel that Brad Snelling will be hoping that he could have done better with that.
The first goal conceded. Blackfield and Langley will now have to chase the game. Do you think that's the worst possible thing just before half-time?
Yeah, definitely, Ben. Conceding just before the half's out is going to be a big demoraliser for the Blackfield and Langley boys. They've done so well to hang in. They've limited the number of chances, and they've kept Havant and Waterlooville at bay. And to go behind to a mistake, they'll be very frustrated. Havant, on the other hand, will be full of confidence now. You know, the half-time comes too soon for them here. 50-50 challenge there, which has gone the way of Blackfield and Langley.
To think they were so close to half-time, do you think it completely changes the team talk now?
Yeah, definitely. You know, if you stay at 0-0, you go in, you say, good job, boys. You know, you've kept them at bay. Second half, let's go out and see if we can nick a goal. Now they're going in and they're going to have to think, how can we get back in this game? How can we keep more possession in the Havant and Waterlooville half? How can we cause them problems? It's very much an uphill battle here on out for Blackfield and Langley.
Clark standing over the free kick. Clark whips it in. Headed up. It's a shot which is blocked. It's a corner.
Blackfield and Langley here with a chance just before half-time to cause some issues for the Havant and Waterloo defence, who have actually have had very quiet first half.
Ben Dazinski, the goalkeeper, will have to be fully focused. Do you think that this is probably, it helps him in the game?
Yeah, he's had a very quiet first half, but no doubt he'll still be very focused on the job at hand. He's been involved with the build-up play. They're playing out from back. Ball comes in. Poor delivery. Very poor delivery. Didn't even beat the first man. And it's coming back to that thing again. It's the quality of the delivery in the final third that's letting both teams down at the moment.
Ball comes in.
Griffin onside.
Dazinski gets it.
Sam Griffin there, almost getting the ball under control in the penalty area. Tracking back hard now.
But it's chances like that Blackfield and Langley will be encouraged by, surely.
Yeah, very much so. There have been times in this half where they've caused problems, but the more that they commit players forward, you'll just feel that there'll be more and more space at the back. The game is very stretched at the moment. You know, it's evident that there's going to be more and more space available for the Havant and Waterlooville players.
Molyneux now roaring forward, and Hayter now on the wing. Hayter comes in one side.
Lovely
goes
little
for a 1-2.
Well defended there by Tuttle. Talak.
And now it's Blackfield and Langley with all the space as they try to come forward, possibly to equalise before half-time.
The game becoming very stretched towards the end of this first half.
Oh,
it's a late challenge there again from Alfie Whittingham on a yellow card.
but that's surely got to be a good sign for Blackfield and Langley. They're coming forward, they're bringing the ball forward, they're getting space.
Yeah, very much so. They'll be hoping that they can start to cause a few more problems to this defence and get, you know, work Dudzinski. I think that's the most important thing for them, is they've got into the opposition half. Havant and Waterlooville have had to, you know, do a bit of defending at times, but they haven't tested Dudzinski at all in his first half. The referee standing over the ball here before the delivery comes in. Just a one-man wall.
Ball gets whipped in. And the keeper gets it all day long.
That's the third free kick in this first half, Ben, that we've seen that's just been too close to the goalkeeper or hasn't had any sort of quality delivery. You know, you've got to put a ball in the box that strikers or people can attack and get on the end of.
And there we are. It's half-time here at St Mary's Stadium in the Hampshire Cup final. Blackfield and Langley have conceded their first goal of the tournament, and it's Havant and Waterlooville that take the lead. It's 1-0. What's your thoughts on the game so far, Jasper?
Havant and Waterlooville definitely asserting their dominance towards the end, the second half of that first half. Dictating possession, they're stretching the pitch wide with their formation. They've been very impressive with Alfie Whittingham. He's made a couple of fouls, but everything that's been good going forward seems to have come down that right-hand side with him. Matt Tubbs will be looking to get involved in the game a little bit more, but Andreas Christensen with a shot from outside the box that's given them the lead.
And just before we go, the team talk for Blackfield and Langley?
It'll be very much more of the same defensively, but see if we can score a goal in the second half.
We'll just have to see what happens. We're just going to go to the guys, Ashley and Linus on pitch side.
Half-time here at the Hampshire Senior Cup final between Blackfield and Langley and Havant and Waterlooville. Tentative start from both sides, but it is Havant and Waterlooville who do have the 1-0 lead. Do you think that's fair result so far, the half-time?
I think Blackfield feel very hard done by it. They've done really well defensively, as you'd imagine, for a team that have not conceded all tournament. And the way they've let themselves fall behind here, they'll be bitterly disappointed with that into the half.
I think Blackfield and Langley, you must say, definitely held their own in that first half. I think maybe unexpectedly, Havant and Waterlooville were taken a bit by surprise, would you say?
Yeah, the first 10 minutes, Blackfield came out with nothing to fear. They've had a go at Havant, and for the first 10 minutes, you'd watch that game and you'd think Blackfield were the higher ranked team in the leagues, but after that, it all just fell, I wouldn't say fell apart, that'd be a disrespect to how well Blackfield played, but Havant really had their quality shine through.
And it was just before the half-time mark where Jordan Rose got the goal. Got a slightly sloppy play, ball was headed down and knocked in. So what do you think? It was a pop shot really, wasn't it? And unlucky for Brad Snelling, the goalkeeper.
Yes, really, really disappointed with Brad Snelling. He made a quality save from Jordan Rose just a few minutes before, but then Robinson's shot from just on the edge of the box, and it has to be said he's unfortunately fumbled that one in. Should have been a comfortable save given what he'd done so far in the half. But yeah, unfortunately, you can't have those kind of errors in a cup final.
I mean, we'll talk about Brad Snelling, very unfortunate with the goal, and it has been a bittersweet half for him. Fantastic save just before that from a Jordan Rose shot. So he has been key, he has been doing well so far.
Oh, absolutely. That save just a few minutes before, actually. Well, we were up in the stands for it. The crowd couldn't believe it. Everyone was, with Rose taking that touchdown, we all think this is in the back of the net. But Snelling to the rescue with a fantastic sort of his feet, and then the follow-up, Havant concede a foul, and Blackfield live to fight for, unfortunately, just a few more minutes.
And I say, yeah, unfortunately, I mean, people read the scoreline, but you agree maybe unfortunately they are 1-0 down because Blackfield have had their own chances, haven't they?
Oh, most certainly. Whilst Havant were by and large in control of the game after the first 10 minutes, there was two top chances for Blackfield. First through Sam Griffiths had a fantastic chance, but for some reason chose to go with his right foot rather than his left after a ball in from Franklin Clark. And everyone seemed a bit confused why he went right-footed, and unfortunately wasted the best opportunity of the game at that point. And then Plummer, who had picked up an injury earlier in the first half, he had another good chance, not as good as Griffiths, but he put it over the bar.
I mean, you'd want that chance to fall to their main talisman, Sam Griffin, 28 goals this season. Unfortunately, got a bit tangled up. When we look at the ball in, though, from Franklin Clark, he does seem to be pulling the strings in that half. Would you agree?
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely been Blackfield's best attacking player. He's been controlling the midfield when he's got the ball. He hasn't had much service, though, unfortunately. He's put a good ball in for Griffiths, he's put a good ball in for Plummer, and he put a really good ball in towards the end of the half, which a bit of a scramble, and haven't managed to get rid of it.
Talk about the way that Blackfield and Langley have set up. They've clearly gone to contain job. Probably not the best idea to go attack and play Havant at their own game. So we've noticed Leroy Plummer, the striker, is seemingly a little bit isolated up there. But I mean, would you say this is surely the only approach that Blackfield can take and hopefully get themselves back in the game?
Well, Havant and Waterlooville are 44 league places above them. Over 90 minutes, they're not going to be able to go toe-to-toe for them in an attacking game. So contain was always going to be the way that it had to be done. As I say, for 43 minutes, they were doing it so well. Unfortunately, it has left Plummer completely isolated up front. Whenever they get the ball, it's just a long ball up the pitch, usually headed away by Havant. So there's been very little service for Plummer, and if they want to get back into this game, they're going to have to be a bit more expansive in the second half.
Absolutely. So we say we're maybe a bit more risky. We'll go back to the Havant side. Tentative start, and they did look sloppy in stages, seemingly found their feet as the game went on. We'll look at the class on that field. James Hayter, Matt Tubbs. What are your thoughts on them players so far? How have they been?
Matt Tubbs has, for me, I think, not quite got into the game, which Blackfield will be happy about. If they have to come out with a bit more of attacking football in the second half, Tubbs will hopefully get a bit more service and maybe be able to show the quality that put him in the higher leagues in the past. But yeah, you said for the first 10 minutes they were struggling. I think they weren't. Blackfield did come out going, look, let's hit them fast. They're not going to be ready for it. They think we're going to contain from the get-go. For the first 10 minutes, Blackfield did try to go toe-to-toe and haven't weren't prepared for it.
Absolutely, I agree. And then going into half-time, Glenn House's side won't be too disappointed being 1-0 down whatsoever. What can he say to his side then going forward? Do they take the risks, or what do you do? Continue, then hopefully getting a chance?
Well, I think that goal's going to completely change it. If you asked me that question 2 minutes before half-time, I would have told you he's going to be more than pleased. He's going to tell his players to keep doing what he's doing, push it towards later on when they can hit on the counters, haven't get tired, maybe push it towards penalties, push it towards the later stages of the game. But conceding that goal, it's going to change the half-time team talk, and it's made things really, really difficult for them now to try and get back into this.
I mean, Lee Bradbury's been there, seen it, done it before. He's won the trophy in 2016. He's been in situations like this, tight games, going in second half. He's got the pedigree for these teams to tell them how to adapt. What does he do? Does he tell them to carry on, or do we really need to push for a second goal here?
Well, they're going to have to push for a second goal because all it takes is one lucky strike, which is how Havant got their goal, to be said. One lucky strike and suddenly Blackfield are back in this. So they have to try and get that second goal, otherwise they're going to risk blowing this lead.
Do you think maybe any changes going forward? Do they need to slightly play more of an attacking football, Blackfield? Or as we say once again, maybe try and contain and then maybe get a goal?
I think the big thing for Blackfield, if I was the manager in that, I'd be saying for the first 5-10 minutes, keep going as they were. Weather the storm, don't let the pressure get to them, because Havant are going to come out and go, right, their heads are dropped, we're going to attack them. They're going to have to try and keep themselves nice and rigid for the first 10, and then build up into confidence, build up the momentum, and hopefully get that goal back that they desperately need if they want to be in this cup final.
And we said, yeah, chances have been there, absolutely, in their penalties, so they've had chances in this game. Is the class slightly showing between the sides, or Blackfield are holding their own, aren't they?
They most certainly are, but like I said, the quality is what's going to be Havant's big advantage going into this. They've got players that can run at a much stronger level for 90 minutes as the game goes on, and they can now afford to sit back a little bit, whereas Blackfield and Langley are going to have to be a bit more aggressive in their play, a bit more attacking, a bit more fast-paced, and that's going to tire them faster. So overall, it's a hard one to call still, Havant in the strongest position, but you never know.
And we say all these talismen on the pitch for Blackfield and Langley. They've got Liam Robinson, they've got Sam Griffin, and between them they've got nearly over 50 goals in the league. Surely they're going to have to turn to them in a time like this.
Well, they know how to put the ball in the back of the net, and they're not used to conceding it. So they now know for the first time in this tournament, hey, we're going to have to step up here. We can't afford to sit back. We can't afford to defend. We're going to have to attack. And they are lucky to have 3 strikers in good form throughout the season who know exactly how to do that.
Absolutely, completely agree. And when you look at the Havant and Waterlooville side, yeah, they are winning 1-0, but however, maybe do need to push for a second goal. Jason Pry's on the bench tonight, 24 goals all this season. They've chosen to rest him tonight. Do you think we'll see him later on tonight?
I think it'll matter how the game goes. If Havant come out here and get a second or third really quickly, I think he'll stay on the bench. But if it gets towards the 70th minute and they're still only up by 1 and Blackfield are getting more and more into the game, they might bring him on to sort of get that momentum and try and catch Blackfield out and put the game to bed.
And as I say, we talk about the class players, obviously James Hayter, Matt Tubbs, all used to playing on pitches like this, big pitches. The manager previously said a few days ago that this size of the pitch will help his side. Is that a major factor in this game so far, all the space of knowing how to pass the ball and conserving energy?
Yes, I think there's been many a case documented throughout history of teams used to smaller pitches coming to a bigger ground and not be able to cope with it. I think the one that comes to mind for me would be Bradford City in 2011. They did so well in the League Cup, playing on the small pitch at Valley Parade, went to Wembley and were ripped apart by Swansea. So it is difficult to go from a much more narrow pitch to this sort of expansive environment. Blackfield are going to have to adapt to it. I think they did well. Like I said, 43 minutes, they were able to work with it, get around it, but it makes things just a little bit harder for their game plan.
Absolutely, talk about that. And this competition has a massive history in terms of penalty shootouts. It boasts the longest ever penalty shootout in English football history. Any chances that might be an omen tonight for Blackfield?
Well, they'll be hoping for it, because once you get to a shootout, it's a roll of the dice, really. Anyone can have it. Anyone fancies their chance in a penalty shootout. But having now conceded, they now have to work to get to that stage. And that will play into Havant's hands.
And we say Blackfield never been finalists in this competition before. This is the biggest stage they've played on in a few years' time. They've got a Southampton Senior Cup final in a couple of weeks against Southampton under 23s. They're already promoted to the further division, the Southern Premier League. Do you think maybe they were pushing extra risks in this game going forward with 2 weeks' time in the Southampton Senior Cup, or is this a big occasion where they do really need to go out and just give it their all?
Well, a cup final to cup final. They're going to have to. These players up there have had the opportunity to come here and play at St Mary's, a stadium which is notorious for Premier League football. These kind of guys aren't used to this kind of environment. It's a huge day for them, and they're going to want to give their all, absolutely. But they do have the opportunity to come back. They are going to be back here again. They're going to have that great chance in a few weeks. But like you said, they've done it with the league. That's sorted. They can afford to go that extra mile and tire themselves, thinking, you know what, worst case scenario, if I'm too tired to start the weekend, it's not the end of the world. So whereas, as you haven't, they've rested their players, so they can bring on that experience if they need to.
Absolutely, and obviously the manager, we have spoken highly about what he's been saying about maybe rotating the squad, because they are 3 points behind Dartford now in the league. They do want that automatic place to go into the Conference next week, which would be huge in terms of funds going forward with that. If they do go down, will they keep confidence in their squad, or will they need to really push out and bring on them key players like Jason Pryor?
Like I said earlier, I think it depends on how the game's going. If it's still 1-0 at 70 minutes, they're going to have to go, right, let's give our better players 20 minutes just to settle things and get us in control. But if they're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many goals up they are, come the 70th, 75th minute, they'll be able to sit back and go, you know what, you guys out there, you've earned this, you've played well, have your minutes, we'll lead the first team to the league.
Absolutely, and we see obviously the support here tonight. There is a fair few Havant fans in tonight. We've heard the chants ringing around for the Havant fans. Blackfield fans also in tonight. They're going to definitely need them in the second half, aren't they?
Yeah, Havant fans are making all the noise so far, and now they've got the goal, they're going to make it even more in the second half. It's a really good attendance. It's far more than most of us were expecting, and they've been in 5 boys throughout the night, and I expect to continue into the second half. Blackfield will need their boys to get back, give them that momentum, and you know, I think we're in for a really, really good second 45.
Well, obviously the players coming out then right now, pushing into the second half. There's only one thing left for us to do. We'll pass you over to our commentary team. We'll be back after full time. We'll pass you over now to Pete Baldry and Chris Loader.
A cagey and edgy affair for the first half. Welcome back to this Solent Sports News broadcast of the FA Hampshire Senior Cup final between Havant and Waterlooville and Blackfield and Langley. For the second half, we're here, Chris Loader, with myself, Peter Baldry, covering this second half of this occasion here at St Mary's Stadium. Now, Chris, it's 1-0 currently to Havant and Waterlooville. Goal from Andres Robinson. Talk to me about the goals before we head into this half, because it seemed to be going into half 0-0, but a goal really out of nothing's really separated sides so far. Tell me a bit more about the goal.
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a scramble in the box in the end, and it was the Waterlooville defender, Jordan Rose, that got his shot away after a bit of a mix-up in the box, and unfortunately the Blackfield and Langley keeper, Bradley Snelling, couldn't really get much of a hand to it, and he kind of fluffed it in the end, and it was a bit of a mistake, because he'd been playing quite well for a lot of the game, you know, but probably you would just say that with all the play that's been in the game so far, haven't showed their whole class yet, but they've probably been the team that have been most look like winning the game.
Blackfield have had their slight moments, haven't really started a bit slow, but really started to put in their experience, so to speak, towards the second half of the first half, really starting to control the game. A real shame for Blackfield and Langley for the way they concede the goal, as so far throughout this whole tournament, that was the first goal they've conceded in this entire competition, and to come in such a manner, it's going to be disappointing for them, but I'm pretty sure going to half-time, they're going to want to keep their heads up for the second half, as we still await the start of proceedings here at St Mary's, with players warming up ahead of us. Now we're going to come at you again, Chris. In your mind, who are some of the key players? So of course for Blackfield, they need to find a way back into this final. This is their first ever occasion at this stage, first appearance in this final. What do they really need to do, and who are the key players they're really going to have to call upon to get back into this game?
Well, I think really they needed a player to maybe come on, or someone to help link out their front man, Leroy Plummer. You can see he's got some pace on him, but he hasn't really had anyone to really help up in the link-up play going forward. I mean, Sam Griffin has showed glimpses of ability down the left wing, and Franklin Clark as well has been putting in some good crosses and some good balls, but there's been no one else maybe around Leroy Plummer to get him in the game. And I think Blackfield, they need to start showing some more killer instinct going forward, otherwise they're going to struggle, because there are opportunities at this Havant and Waterlooville defence. So I think Blackfield just need to maybe be a bit more braver going forward.
Indeed, you are correct. And just to announce, there's one substitution made to come into the second half, made on behalf of the Hawks, Havant and Waterlooville. Coming off is number 24, Alfie Whittingham. Coming on, number 7, Wes Fogden. Another star, you could say, well, former star in this Havant side that's played in some big leagues in the past. Of course, in the past, played for Bournemouth and Portsmouth in a local link to this final. So just getting ready to kick off here. Proceedings coming in. So we spoke a bit about the likes of Griffin and Plummer, who's had a few chances in the first half. What would you say the manager said to the Blackfield and Langley boys at half-time? What encouragement has he given them?
Well, it's only 1-0, and obviously they're still in the game. It looked like it was going to be 0-0, as we said, at half-time, but Blackfield have been in the game, and the defence of Waterlooville, like we said, they're there for the taking. They could maybe get an opportunity to score a goal, but I think the manager will say, look, we've never been in this final before, and we've got to give it everything we got. We got a good place in the league, but if we want to get more pride out of our season, we've got to put in a better performance in the second half. And I believe that they could still do that, but with that change, they've brought on a little bit more quality now, haven't they? They've probably not had their strongest team up, so maybe Wes Fogden, with his professional league experience, he could be the difference in the second half.
A momentous occasion for this Blackfield and Langley squad. Their first ever appearance in the final of the FA Senior Cup, Hampshire FA Senior Cup. As second half is now underway, and it's already a free kick to Blackfield and Langley. So we've already spoken a bit about the first half, the manner that they conceded. Are you worried, Chris, at all that may mean that the heads of the Blackfield and Langley players, their heads may drop at all? Because this win or lose is a massive occasion for them. They're 44 places below Havant in league standings in the English Football League. This is just a massive occasion for them. Are you worried that the way they concede a goal will really get to them and bring them down?
Well, if you remember, at the end of the first half, as soon as the goal went in, they did have a couple of glimmers of a chance, and that showed some encouragement from them, and they'll need to keep more of that mentality. I think if they can steady the ship still in the second half, and if they can get to maybe about the 60-70 minute mark without conceding and the scoreline still the same, they might be able to make like that change we were saying about, to link the forward play, to maybe nick a goal and maybe take this into extra time or penalties. And they're now down the other end of their pitch.
Is still with them here in the box. Every shot is blocked. A shot there from number 7, Liam Robinson. Just like in the first half, Blackfield have started stronger in the second half, as they've just given away a foul there, which is to the dismay of a number of the players, but the ref standards will overrule. And now Havant have a bit of a chance to relax after that bit of a slow start. Like you said, it's happy to see that Blackfield, their heads haven't dropped too much. They're really up for the occasion, which you'd hope they would be for such a momentous time for this team.
Yes, well, if you just look at that opportunity there for Blackfield and Langley, you know, the defence of Havant was a bit asleep, and as we said, they're not playing their strongest lineup tonight. They're probably focusing on trying to get the league title in the National League South, and maybe this kind of second team of Havant just want to just cut a bit comfortable, you know. And
more calls from the Blackfield and Langley side. Sam Griffin, who picked up the ball there, ran at the defence. He was brought down, but the ref deemed it a legal tackle. Many of the players seem to disagree with the ref there. They'll take anything they can get at this stage. Sam Griffin, really one of their star players so far. For them, one of the players really getting back to it. He's played 53 appearances this season, 27 goals. He won Supporters Player of the Season. If there's any player that will get him back into it, it's looking like it could be him, as Havant come forward now. They play out on the left, looking to get a ball into the box. It looks to be a bit over it, and the defender's dealt with it. It's come out now to number 7, who's whipped it back in again, and it's headed away. And it's just constant. Now it's Moot on the left. He's had a shot which has been blocked by the Blackfield defender. More pressure from Havant looking to put it, and it's pinball football at the moment, as Havant keep hold of it. And Blackfield are just trying to get out again after a nice bright start from them. And it's gone out for play. It just goes to show, Chris, that just moments like that, the experience will come through, and this Havant side will make chances out of nothing against this less experienced Blackfield and Langley team, just like we showed then, despite the poor start out of the two.
Well, Blackfield were holding a very good defensive line in the first half, and you could really tell that they do have a very good defence. And it was a bit of a blow to them to concede that goal, but if they can just keep the line together, but probably fitness could come into it later in the game where they've been defending for a lot of the game and they will get tired. So you've got to think that maybe there will be more opportunities there for Havant and Waterlooville, but still, it's only 1-0 still, and we've just seen, even in this early part of the second half, that Blackfield have had a few glimmers of going forward where they could get in behind Havant, but we've got to see how this game progresses still.
Indeed we do. There's still a lot of time here left in this Hampshire FA Senior Cup final. Still 1-0 to Havant Waterlooville as Wes Fogden's putting a very nice ball into the box, looking for one of his forward players. Matt Tubbs has brought it back, looking to get support from Moot, has dragged the defender away as Tubbs keeps hold of it. It's played in. It's another fantastic ball back to Tubbs, who plays it across, and that's great defending there from the Blackfield and Langley defender. Look at Ryan Oatley there, the left back, coming in very clutch there, and now it's a corner for Havant and Waterlooville.
Yeah, that was the kind of thing we were just talking about there, where maybe the energy from Blackfield could be zapped in the second half, where their concentration levels might not be optimum. So they've really got to, they want to stay in this final. They still got to keep that good defensive shape and line like they had in the first half.
Corner Havant, they've played it short to number 18, James Hayter. He's looked to whip it back in. It's a great ball. It's headed away with authority, and it's out for Havant Waterloo throwing. Little chance like that. There's just that glimmer of class there with that ball into the box. It's moments like that that Blackfield and Langley defenders really need to keep an eye out for. As now Havant looks to pass it to the back, as a pass it across, where they have now number 17 Jordan Rose, who had a fantastic chance in the first half, saved by Blackfield and Langley goalkeeper Brad Snelling. It was a great save from a close range, which makes it more of a shame of the manner in which Blackfield conceded their goal going into the end of the first half. But he's going to pick himself up, which I'm sure he will do with such an impressive record early in this competition, not conceding a single goal until this stage, the actual final itself. And now Havant are looking to keep control up the pitch as a throw-in. They're throwing it back to Rose. He's being issued there by Plummer of Blackfield and Langley. He's going to look. He has to. You'd have to say, Chris, Plummer's going to be an outlet to them. He's looked a very bright spark in the first half. He took a bit of a knock at some stage, I think halfway through, around on the 20-minute mark. But he looks to be okay now. He seems to have a bit of pace about him. He's really the one they're going to have to look to possibly get a chance up the field.
Yes, well, he scored quite a few goals for them in this competition already. 5 goals in this competition this season, so he knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. But I just think it's just, there's not been any Blackfield player really, you could say, that's got into the game to help him out. And unless they make that change, maybe, I'm not sure on the talent on the bench, if they've got a creative midfielder or maybe a target man, you know, someone he can run off and work with to maybe try and get a bit more behind this Havant line. As I've mentioned already, they can get behind that line. It's just being brave, Blackfield. They just need to, like I said, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for probably many of these players. They've never been in this situation before, and if they want to beat a very good side in non-league football, Havant and Waterlooville, they've got to be more braver.
Well, like you said yourself, Havant and Waterlooville are the most experienced out of these two sides, as they are currently second in the Vanarama National League South, looking to secure a way back into the National League. They're currently 17 points, joint 1 goal to separate, so they have only 3 games left to secure their place in the next division next season, but it looks like they might be doing so. And now as they look to control the ball now, here's Wes Fogden passing it back to defend. It's hoofed forward there by Waterlooville as they look to get more up the pitch, and put some more pressure on this Blackfield and Langley side. But it's very composed play there from Connor Doe, midfielder of Blackfield, passing it back to goalkeeper Brad Snelling. And now we have Sam Stewart, who's been dispossessed very nicely by captain of Havant Waterlooville, Brian Stock, who another player who's got a fair pass to him in his career. He's a Welsh national player who's earned 3 caps for the Welsh national side in his career. It'd be a bit more silverware for him. And he's played a fantastic ball up the field to Sam Griffin of Blackfield and Langley. He's pulled it back. There's a great chance for Plummer, and he's just got underneath it, and a shot has gone over. A good chance there for Blackfield and Langley, Chris.
that could have been the opportunity there for them to get back in the game. Sam Griffin on this left-hand side was open in space. He put in a good ball to Plummer, and Plummer could have just kept his composure there. He should have got that opportunity on target to make the goalkeeper at least work for it. But that's the play they've got to keep building on performances like that.
We spoke in the first half, analysing the game, saying that in this sort of situation, when you are the clear underdog going into it, you just have to, discipline is so vital, and you know them opportunities aren't going to come around too often. And that was one of them there, which is a sad truth for it. They're not going to come around too often, but it was good move from Plummer in the box. We just, like I said, he was too under the shot and has let off Havant quite dearly there. And now as they look to control from the back again, Field is out to number 7, Wes Fogden, who's dispossessed by number 3, Ryan Oatley again. And now Havant on the left side field. Moot plays a nice ball backwards and Stocklers to play it forward, but it's intercepted. It's just like in this case early in the first half, a very cagey affair. No one team can really get a real stranglehold of this game so far. There's been chances for both, but none have really been looking to dominate so far. Chris, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would say, as we've already talked about really, that Havant and Waterlooville, they've got the experience. They've got some former professionals with good league experience with the likes of James Hayter, Matt Tubbs, and also as well their substitution Wes Fogden. So they've got the experience compared to Blackfield and Langley, but Blackfield and Langley, like we said, have got a very good record in this competition this season. They hadn't conceded any goals in this competition until that goal in the first half, so they've got to keep using that experience that they've done this season to see them through. But like I said, you might expect towards the last dying embers of this game that Havant's class might just come out on top.
Again, another half and half ball that's been trying to battle again, both sides trying to take a stranglehold of this game. Blackfield and Langley have had a very successful campaign so far this year as well. Of course, it's their first ever appearance at this stage in the Hampshire FA Senior Cup. They are currently second in the Wessex Premier League, 93 points. They've scored 109 league goals this season alone. And this past weekend, they were promoted to the Southern League, so they're looking on the up. If they were to win tonight, even though it looks like Havant have got a true stranglehold of the game with the score being 1-0. If they were to pull a result out tonight, it'd be a fantastic season for the Watersiders and for Glen Howe's side. And now Blackfield looking to push forward. It's number 3, Ryan Oatley, is coming forward. He's got Plummer in the box. More players trying to look support. That's a good ball. It's just over here, and it's going out for a throw-in to Havant and Waterlooville. Again, it's good, like you were saying there earlier, Chris, some bravery being shown there by some of the Blackfield players. Oatley from left back, surging forward, showed some confidence. He knew, we could see where he wanted to put it, but just off the mark. And it's good as Havant was spared again from a fair break from the Blackfield side.
Well, again, it was a good break by the Blackfield left back there. Ryan Oatley down the left-hand side, putting a good ball to Plummer. But again, there was no one there helping Plummer. He can't do it all on his own, just being their lone striker. Maybe some of the players like Sam Griffin and Franklin Clark, they need to be helping them, making an extra run from midfield and deeper line positions to help support him, because if the ball's not coming to him, he's not going to score, is he?
Truer words have never been spoken as a score currently here. It's still 1-0 here at St Mary's on a very cool and crisp evening. But still, the football, to be said, is not too fiery itself. So very cool play being put on. It's very cagey, as I've said many a times. I'll say it again and again. The second half just really suffering like, it's not, I wouldn't say lackluster, but not too much to shout about so far. Now Havant with a throw-in on the left-hand side, opposite side to us, as Moot passes it back to his fellow defender. Just to put it forward, here we have Matt Tubbs, one of their more experienced players, holds up, plays it back, and good dispossession there from Blackfield Langley. Looks to play a ball forward. That was from Sean Stewart, the midfielder. They've managed to get a hold of it again. It's a ball into the box, looking for Griffin. It's a chance here for number... Oh, off the line. It was such a fantastic hit from Connor Doe. It fell to him. The keeper committed. Ben Dudzinski committed there. And what a clearance on the line there from the Havant defender. That could have been the chance.
Well, that's what we've been talking about. The defence of Havant and Waterlooville has looked shaky at times. And again, there was a bit of a mix-up there in the box, and the opportunity fell to Connor Doe, but it was a great block by the defender of Havant and Waterlooville, and that would have been game on, really, if that goal had gone in.
A big chance here for Blackfield and Langley. A corner from swinging in to the left from Liam Robinson. They've got up well. It's been flicked on by number 4, by Joe Byrne. There was another great opportunity. Blackfield, without a doubt, in this game, as we've just seen in the past couple of minutes, such a good leap, such a nice ball in from Robinson. Looked to flick it onto the back post, anyone else to put it in, but just the opportunity came and went again. We've said this many times, these opportunities, they're not going to come around that often, but they've had a fair few so far this half already.
Well, yes, that was another good opportunity there from the corner. I mean, it came off the head of Joe Byrne, but again, there could have been someone there gambling at the back post, and that's the risks that Blackfield need to take. They need to be more braver. They are showing some incentive, but they just need to have that extra man there to be there in the right place at the right time.
Almost an hour into this Hampshire FA Senior Cup final. Blackfield and Langley trail by a goal to nil. They've never won this competition. Havant and Waterlooville have won the competition 8 times, third most in history, including 5 as Waterlooville and 2 as Havant Town. This is an occasion that they've got very used to, but currently in the second half they find themselves on the back foot as Blackfield look to push forward. Currently with right back Lewis Tallock look to get a ball into the box towards Plummer. It's well dealt with by the Havant Waterloo defender Lee Molyneux again, as another corner for Blackfield and Langley. Would you say that set pieces really is the best opportunity that Blackfield have for getting back to this game, Chris?
Yeah, well, the Blackfield attacker Franklin Clark has put in some really good balls into the box from corners and free kicks, and they've just been a little bit unlucky, Blackfield, not just getting them on target. If they can just connect one of those, they've got a chance of getting in behind the Havant Waterlooville defence.
An interesting corner as they played it outside the box to number 7 Liam Robinson, who's kept it, looked to pass it back, and Blackfield are caught offside. A very frustrating move, the one that possibly looked to come from the training ground, but sadly the execution was not there, and Havant looked to regroup once again. We will have free kick taken from Ben Dudzinski. Hasn't had too much to deal with this game so far, which is it's something to say in itself, for the fact of how many chances Blackfield have had. He's rarely been tested, which goes to show that they need to be more clinical in front of goal with the chances they've had so far.
He has been a little bit shaky though from when balls have been played into him, like that opportunity we saw there for Connor Doe. He wasn't decisive enough. So
very true.
So he is there to be taken.
There's a good chance to play for forward there, but it was blocked by Rose. As now Wes Fulton looks to break for Havant, looks to get forward with him. He passes it to Matt Tubbs, looks to whip a ball into the box. It's just cleared away, pardon me, that was number 12 whipping the ball into the box. Alfie Rutherford looking for Matt Tubbs, as now Moot whips in from the left side, cleared by number 5, Sam Poole. Their caps today. A very impressive performance from him and fellow centre-back partner Joe Byrne in the first half. They did well dealing with the Havant pressure later in the half, and they'll feel very frustrated that could have gone into a goal down despite their efforts. And that's another a long ball put out of play by Blackfield and Langley.
They've been the key reason why the score is still 1-0. They've been very solid, been working very well together. They've seemed to got good communication going. And it's still going to be crucial with the remaining half hour in the game. They're going to keep the score at 1-0 and give Havant not many other opportunities.
Charlie Tuttle with the throw-in here for Havant and Waterlooville. Looking for options, he's got forward, and it's been intercepted again by Blackfield and Langley. Possession being thrown backwards and forwards. Actually there from a good challenge there. And that's... The ref has got it for a foul there by Plummer, who's looked to probably a bit of frustration there. Leroy Plummer, he's looking to get back, win the ball back, but gives away a free kick in the process. Tuttle and Stock standing over this. Brian Stock passes it. It's a poor free kick, to be fair. It's intercepted, and Molyneux with a big challenge there on. It's been a strong challenge there on Plummer. The Blackfield and Langley players were incensed by that challenge. Maybe they saw something that we couldn't from here. The referee is assessing the situation. He's called Lee Molyneux over. It was really unneeded, that situation. It was a poor free kick just passed short by Captain Brian Stock. The referee is going to get his card out for Molyneux. Jordan Rose is having a quick word. The referee's ushering him away. He's already made his mind up. Molyneux is trying to plead his case. But referee Matt Russell's gone to give his card out. A yellow card for Lee Molyneux, first of the evening. Chris, what would you make of that chance of that foul there? It came out of nowhere.
It was good pressure by Blackfield to win the ball, you know, because if Plummer had been on his bike, he could have been in one-on-one with the goalkeeper there. So it was well worked inception by Sam Griffin, but again, that's the risk they need to take if they're going to get back in this game.
The resulting free kick leading to another offside for Blackfield and Langley, with Havant again being spared. True spirit being shown so far this second half by Blackfield and Langley. Of course, we've mentioned again and again of how they are the underdogs in this occasion, 44 league spots below Havant and Waterlooville. But the score only remains at 1-0. Many people weren't giving the Watersiders much of a chance going in this final, but they've really come to play, and it's good to see, making it a very strong occasion. And now Havant look to push forward on the left-hand side as they play it back. Brian Stock, the skipper, in the middle, playing a nice ball forward. They played it out wide to number 7, Wes Fogden, and it's just been pipped there. A throw in to Havant and Waterlooville up the pitch, probably the furthest they've been up so far this second half. Really taking a chance with them going forward. Chris, would you say that they're trying to do the impression of the first half? They're taking it nice and slow, going forward, but they're probably going to look to use experience as the second half goes on.
Yeah, seems the way that's going, really. They haven't played that well in the second half. You know, they're kind of doing it like how ugly winners do it, I would say. You know, like they're not really doing it spectacularly, but they're doing enough. And relying on their class. As another chance there goes wide behind, just a ball into the box, headed wide by I believe Matt Tubbs, who you can't say he doesn't know how to score goals. He's done it most of his career throughout the Football League, the likes of Crawley, Bournemouth, Portsmouth, Salisbury, Eastleigh, from complete different spectrums of the English Football League. He'll be one of them players that they're going to look to want to get the ball to as much as they can this evening, Chris. Yes, well, he hasn't really been in the game too much, you know, but he could be one of those players that one goal, one shot opportunity man. So if the ball does come to him and he gets a goal scoring opportunity, you could maybe rely on him to put it in the back of the net. A questionable clearance there by Molyneux is eventually cleared by Tuttle. That's a nice ball into midfield at number 6, short Sam Doe, who had a fantastic Connor Doe, had a fantastic opportunity to equalise earlier, but it was cleared off the line by Havant and Waterlooville, who now look to break on the left. Inside. It's a late challenge. The referee has deemed a fair challenge. Now Blackfield will look to advance. A long ball played forward to Plummer. It's got Battle Rose, but Rose did very well there to ease the pressure. And now substitute for second. Now Wes Fogden is fouled there. And again, pressure appearing to be on Havant, Waterlooville being taken away just a moment's notice through that foul. You just wonder at this point in the game, obviously a lot of these players are part-time and not as fit as professional footballers, so the fatigue element could come in a lot quicker than it would do for professional footballers. So we just saw Connor Doe there. I noticed in that little chance Blackfield had, he was feeling possibly his hamstring, so he could be picking up a knock, and the defence as well, Blackfield, could start within the next 10 minutes to kind of hit that wall of fitness. As you say that, Blackfield currently have a player down. It is Connor Doe, so as you say, he might be feeling that hamstring quite tight. As it looks, they are going to be making a substitution now, as it is Connor Doe who will be coming off, and coming on will be number 40, Connor Huare. It's Connor for Connor here for Blackfield and Langley as they look to find a way back into this game. Connor Hoare is a holding midfielder who has improved as the season has progressed. Naturally, he's local area, he's a Pompey boy. Will he be relishing playing at St Mary's is for him to find out. We will see. As you mentioned before the game started, Chris, this could be a slight derby in itself, as both these sides do have links to rivaling cities, Portsmouth and Southampton. Do you think they'll come into play in this game? We've already seen one yellow card for a late chance from Lee Molyneux. Do you expect to see any more as the game goes on? Yeah, there could be, as players get tired, making more lazy challenges. Also as well, Blackfield as well, if they want to win back the ball, they're going to have to take more risks, and that could involve putting in some stiff challenges. So they could be at risk of getting some bookings. But like I said, it hasn't been that much of a dirty game so far.
A brilliant interception there puts Blackfield back in their tracks as number 5 Sam Paul looks to put it forward, and again offside for Blackfield and Langley. Liam Robinson on the far side, number 7 being called offside there by the linesman.
I think Blackfield really need to make an attacking substitution within the next 5 to 10 minutes if they want to get back in this final. They've showed glimmers of it, but again, we're still saying like the problems they had in the first half, missing that key player to link the forward play. Because it's kind of the roll of the dice kind of moment, and they really do need to get their act together going forward and to have a few more opportunities, because being the lesser side out of the two, you would say on paper, they've got to get a chance away if they're going to stay in the game.
Havant now looking to pass the ball, about to try and take a stranglehold of this game. We're now only just over 20 minutes left of this FA Hampshire Senior Cup final. Score is still currently 1-0 to Havant and Waterlooville, thanks to a goal from Andres Robinson late into the first half. About to Jordan Rose, who was busy pleading with the referee earlier after he believed he was fouled, as one of Blackfield and Langley's one of their multiple chances over this game as Palmer's played through upfield. He believed he was held back by the Blackfield striker, but the ref deemed it fair. And now here's Charlie Tuttle on the left. He's going to look to beat his marker. Yes, he is. He's facing up against Lewis Talak. Blackfield and Langley right back, but he's done well to usher him out, and it's a goal kick to the Watersiders. Goal kick played out long. Looks towards Plummer, who's battled for it with Tuttle. It's fallen back to another Havant player as they look to regroup and pass back. Stock pass back to Molyneux. The first pass was blocked there. A bit of a moment there that Blackfield wanted the referee to have another look at. It looked like they were possibly insinuating that Molyneux clattered one of the players off the ball to stop him from beating him to the ball. But now Havant again end-to-end stuff in this little spell here as Fulton now plays it forward to Stock. And now here's James Hayter playing out the left to Charlie Tuttle, who's been getting much more action so far this second half. It's partially cleared by Talak, only as far as the Havant players. They look to come up forward again. There's a first ball in the box played in, but the referee has given a foul, given a free kick to Havant and Waterlooville. They might want to look to do something here. Another chance for them to possibly put this final to bed earlier than expected. And looks like there's going to be another sub coming imminent, but in the meantime, referee Matt Russell is talking to the centre-back pairing of Joe Byrne and Sam Paul, Blackfield and Langley. Number 10, Matt Tubbs, is currently standing over this set piece, this dead ball area. He's looked to go for goal. It's a good effort, and it's well saved there by Brad Stanley. Got his body behind the ball, and now they'll look to break quickly. High kick upfield. Plumbers battling with it, battling for it. It's just gone past him, and Fulton will pass the ball back to Dudzinski. And just moments like that again, Chris, has to be said that that class will come into play if you give them opportunities like that, the likes of Tubbs and Fogden, etc. Like that's moments that Blackfield can't give them too many of. No, clear opportunities like that, having a shot, a goal from a free kick, they've got to avoid those opportunities. But I think it was a good save by Brad Snell, and he might get his confidence back now after making that error. That's probably the first save really he's had to do in this half, so at least he's got a comfortable save under his belt now, so his confidence might be regained there. But yeah, Blackfield doing a bit of good work now. Danger man for Blackfield Langley, Sam Griffin going forward. He's beaten the likes of Wes Fogden. It's a great bit of play back. Oh, and it's a fantastic chance for Blackfield and Langley. It was nice play around the box, started by Sam Griffin, running at his marker, Wes Fogden, plays it in. I believe it was Franklin Clark who held the ball up well, played it out, and it may have been Liam Robinson that got the shot away. Very nice connection from the Blackfield forward, but just couldn't get on target. Another chance for them as a substitution is being made for Havant at Waterlooville. Coming off is captain Brian Stock. And coming on, number 14, Mike Carter, a straight swap, midfielder for midfielder. Stock has done well controlling the play for Havant first half and so far in the second half, as we are close to only 15 minutes left of this cup final. Still 1-0 to the Hawks. So you were saying earlier, Chris, you believe Blackfield really need to start making some changes, pardon me. Surely they've got to be doing it in the next 5 minutes if they're going to be making any changes at all to really get the most out of them.
I think they need to bring on another striker really to make it 2 up top, because like I've been saying all half, this Havant and Waterlooville defence can be got at, and they just had that good opportunity there from Liam Robinson. You know, he was in, and it was a bit of a snatchy shot on goal, but if Blackfield really want this cup, they've really got to make an attacking positive substitution, otherwise they're not going to score.
Will we see some changes from Glenn House, the Blackfield and Langley manager? He was appointed in 2015 at the age of 31. His career was cut short in 2013, but since then he's taken this Blackfield and Langley side to new heights, which they didn't believe they would get to before. Because of course, like saying it again, this is their first appearance in the Hampshire FA Senior Cup final, as we have a slight delay in play, as one of the Havant players is down receiving some treatment. So in this spell of a break here, who do you think is going to have to utilise the most from it, Chris? Havant or Blackfield? Who's going to be talking up tactics the most out of the two sides?
I think Havant will be quite pleased with wasting time, as it were, it might be said, but he could be injured. But as killing the game off really by not making the game flow for Blackfield is really going to help Havant. And again, it's kind of that mentality of winning ugly but putting the class through. They haven't been fantastic, Havant. They've just been workmanlike, probably been more of the professional team, you would say, to try and get the job done. But Blackfield, we haven't really seen much activity down on their bench. So the tactics wise, I think Blackfield just keep saying to themselves, keep going forward. But like I said, they need that player, or they need to just be a bit more braver going forward.
We can confirm it's number 16, Andres Robinson, the goal scorer, the only goal so far in this final, that is down receiving some treatment, being attended to by physios from Havant and Waterlooville. As you see in the middle, the likes of Fogden, Carter, Tubbs are really discussing tactics, how to really put this game to bed or to just hold out. They don't need to score again. They are winning, as you can tell by the score in this game. As Robinson is still down, it's not sure he'll be able to carry on or not at this stage. They've got a smattering of subs to bring on in case he needs to come off. And it's good to see Robinson be able to walk off unaided on his own accord. He's taking his shirt off, so it might be a sign that he is coming off. Or, in fact, he could be just getting a new shirt through a rip. As they're going to play on without him. Havant, we're playing for 10 men in the meantime as Charlie Tuttle plays a ball forward. It's a long ball, and the Snelling come out. He got something to it, but it wasn't the most convincing punch you've ever seen in a game of football. But it was effective, to say the least, just about. And now Wes Fogden is on the ball for Havant and Waterlooville. Pass it short to Mike Carter, who came on only just 5 minutes ago, plays a ball forward. It's brought down nicely by number 10, Matt Tubbs. Pass inside to his former Bournemouth and Portsmouth teammate Wes Fogden, who's brought down. They play on, and now Blackfield look to break. It's a strong tackle there from Carter, just missed, as Blackfield look to continue with the ball. And that's fantastic play there from Marley Ridge. As you can see, Andres Robinson looks to suffer a little... It's a bit of blood to his face through a collision, but he's been patched up and is able to continue on as a challenge. Just done enough by Jordan Rose to deny Sam Griffin from going forward there in a little spell. That's a player that really hasn't really got a chance to do much so far in the second half. Marley Ridge with a nice bit of skill there in the middle. strong header forward from Carter. It's brought down by Sean Stewart. And our ball forward, here is Franklin Clark, who's going to be chasing onto, but Tuttle just gets there before him to clear the danger. Again, Blackfield advancing forward. There's only just over 10 minutes left of this final. They really need to start doing more now with their chances. Calls for a free kick from Blackfield Langley are waved away by the referee, but who go forward. And there's a bit of a possible rush to the blood moment there from the Blackfield Langley player who dispossessed Havant well. Shot was blocked, he's won a corner from it. Another chance of Blackfield to really test this Havant defence and the goalkeeper Ben Dudzinski, who hasn't had too much to do so far.
This corner could be key to them, you know, getting back. If they can get a goal back from this opportunity, then it's going to be an interesting last 10 minutes on our hands.
Ball into box is headed only partially away. Dudzinski comes out, doesn't claim it. And a shot there from number 5. Sam Paul was blocked by Dudzinski with his foot, it appeared to be. Or any part of the body that'll stop the ball, we fine for Havant, they won't mind. As another free kick has been issued by the ref, this time against Blackfield and Langley.
Again, it was Ben Dudzinski there. He wasn't comfortable at all with that ball in.
And you have your wish, Chris, as a substitution is being made for Blackfield and Langley. Coming off is number 9, Lerone Plummer. Coming on, number 12, Joe Butcher. To be fair, they've had a bit of an interesting swap there, Chris. You were hoping for another 4, but they've brought off Plummer, brought on midfielder in Joe Butcher, left-footed player signed from Newport. He's equally covered on the wing or at left-back. He's a very versatile player, but he has scored some important goals, especially with his chin, as he scored earlier in this competition, apparently.
Well, yes, that's a bit of an outstanding claim there, but it'll be interesting to see what they do with their forward line. I was really expecting them to bring on a midfielder. I wonder if maybe they might put the likes of Sam Griffin, who's been playing out the wing. He can play in a more central role. He might take and lead the line, but I think they really should have brought another striker on there. I thought Plummer's pace could have been an advantage for them in the last phase of the game.
Well, it's clear that Glenn House has a plan. Will that plan come to fruition with only 10 minutes remaining in this Hampshire FA Senior Cup final? His side still trailed by 1-0 as Charlie Talk puts up a great ball in the box. It's Matt Tubbs, and that may have just put the tie to bed, the final to bed. A goal from Matt Tubbs. He's been scoring his whole career, and that may have just won Havant and Waterlooville their 9th Hampshire FA Senior Cup. I do apologise. It's just such a smattering of stars. It's James Hayter with the goal, former Football League player himself. He's come up with a goal here. Chris, talk me through the goal.
Yeah, well, it was a very comfortable ball into the box, and it was just a nice volley straight underneath the keeper, and it was a bit of a hard save for him to make, but that's kind of the way it's been in this game.
And as we talk, Havant make another substitution as Matt Tubbs comes off. Coming on, number 9, Jason Pryor. Just saving legs now because they've still got plenty of league action to go in what now appears to be a wrapped up final, unless Blackfield and Langley can pull something spectacular out of the bag. Confirmation of James Hayter scoring there. And now Blackfield looking to get advanced back into the game. Another corner for them. They've had many opportunities from corners. It's now or never, has to be said, Chris, wouldn't you agree?
I think so. I still think Blackfield, and I've been banging on about it in the second half, they need another forward player on the pitch. Maybe one of their strikers could have come on, but the manager obviously has a game plan because he hasn't made any substitutions until quite late on in this game, so he must be confident in his players.
Blackfield corner into the box. It's a high looping one looking back post. It's headed down, and it's another foul, frustratingly. Sean Stewart was a man there penalised by the referee, as Havant now will look to, I wouldn't say waste a bit of clock, but take their time, and no need to rush. They are currently 2 goals to the good in this final as Dudzinski picks up the ball, looks to place it into the spot deemed fit by the referee. pass out now to Jordan Rose, who looks to play it long up forward. Not convincing defending there, has led to a Havant throw-in in Blackfield's half. Robertson has let Tuttle take hold of the ball. Let's head it back to him. Here's Tuttle on the left. To play a ball into the box. It's a nice header and it's a goal. It's 3-0 now for Havant and Waterlooville. Goal from substitute number 9, Jason Pryor. A fantastic ball into the box from Sam Tuttle, the fullback. From Charlie Tuttle, pardon me. He spotted Jason Pryor on his own, and all he had to do was a glancing header into the corner. It's now 3-0 to Havant and Waterlooville. Would you say it's a scoreline that's a bit unfair on Blackfield and Langley, given the way the game has gone, Chris?
I think so. I think if it stays like this, I mean, it's going to be some hell of a comeback if Blackfield can get back into the game with a few minutes left to go. But they've done themselves credit. They put in a very good performance. They were pretty much solid in the first half, and I think maybe if they'd gone into the half-time at 0-0, it could have been a different story. But I think Blackfield as well will also be disappointed that they never took any of some of their clear opportunities they had. If they had managed to get one of those on target and had got a goal, it could have been a lot more of a different story in this game. So I would say a 3-0 win to Havant and Waterlooville, if it stands like this, would be an unfair result on Blackfield.
Havant and Waterlooville have experienced many successes in this competition. This will be number 9 for the club. They've also suffered a bit of heartbreak in the past as well. They've finished runner-up 3 times in the past 17 years. The last time they won a competition in 2016, winning on penalties against Winchester City. And earlier, the stadium announced the attendance of 710 fans here at St Mary's this evening. What would you think they've made of the game, Chris? Would it have been a game they've enjoyed? What would you say overall? How would you rate this performance from both sides in this final?
Well, I mean, Havant and Waterlooville obviously got a very good record in this competition, winning 8 times, and this will probably be their 9th success in the competition. So a lot of their fans would probably be quite comfortable with them winning this cup. They obviously want to get promoted in the league, and that's where the fans' main focus would lie, and the club will be happy to see this as a nice distraction, winning a bit of silverware this season. But I think if you're a Blackfield fan, you'd be really disheartened by their performance, really, and you'd be maybe questioning some of the decisions from the management. I think they should have been a little bit more braver. Obviously they were the underdogs coming into this game, but they were really organised for that first half, you know, and I just think that they could have been a lot more braver, and maybe in the second half, early on, he should have made a more attacking substitution to maybe support their lone striker.
As we talk, Havant pushed forward for another goal, but as well intercepted by captain Sam Poole. Well, Blackfield and Langley, as we said before the game, have never won this competition. It looks very likely the wait will go on as they trail by 3-0 with only just 5 minutes left, including extra additional time depending on what the fourth official will deem suitable. But now Blackfield look to push forward themselves, maybe just get a goal back possibly. It's Ryan Oatley at left back looking to get a ball into the box. It's one that's got back first. It's headed down, looks to be gone into his own player. A header there from possible Robinson, looked to have hit Butcher. And now there's a few waves there for possible foul there. Another shot, and now it's a foul being given against Blackfield and Langley.
Again, that was a good opportunity for them to get at least a consolation goal in this game. And I know there was a bit of a scramble in the box, and the backfield player went off his feet. But Franklin Clark there, he could have gone in and followed up. He was looking at the referee, and I think that's the problem in just modern football these days. You know, that players always, they look at the referee and expect them to make a decision. They don't take the initiative, and I think at this level of football, especially where obviously there are weaker levels, if you had that more of a killer instinct, you could easily thrive at this level of football. And again, there, Blackfield, I think that just sums up their night. You know, they haven't been paying attention.
And as we're talking there, Blackfield and Langley, pardon me, made their third and final sub. They brought off left back Ryan Oatley, bringing on number 16 Tom Sykes. Two sides separated by 44 places in the English Football League, and that has shown true tonight. And as I speak, number 7 Liam Robinson has a chance to play the ball into the box. It's not a bad ball. It's fallen back to number 10. Oh, it's a great save by Dudzinski, denying Franklin Clark. He hasn't been called upon barely at all this game, even with the game pretty much wrapped up. He's made a fantastic stop there. Clark not really under any pressure from anyone, but a very strong stop from Dudzinski.
Again, that could have been the story, really. Havant have been shaky in their defending at times, but Blackfield haven't been more punishing against them.
And Havant have another chance himself, wayward, as James Hayter again, who's really been pulling the strings so far this game, moving forward, laid it off to Alfie Rutherford, cutting in from the right. Shot on his weaker left, but the rest says it all. Just wayward of the goal. Not a matter at all, though, as we look to come towards the final stage of this game, as Blackfield and Langley push the ball forward from their goal kick. That's come all the way back to Jordan Rose, who's put back to opposite keeper Ben Dudzinski. It's a strong header forward from the centre back there for Blackfield Langley, believed to be Sam Paul. Dudzinski issuing instructions even with his side 3-0 up in the final with only a matter of moments to go. He's played long forward. A bit of battling for the ball there. Sykes does well to hoof it up and away. A strong header there from Carter. A bit of a pinball situation here, and haven't looked to bring it down. More signs of experience there as they look to control the play any chance given, as Sean Stewart there gives the ball away and haven't looked to push forward again. So cut back. It's a good strike, and it's straight at Snelling. Strike there from number 22, Marley Ridge, but it was straight at Snelling, who didn't have to move much to stop it at all. So with only moments left in this game, Chris, who would you say has been your standout player for both sides in this game? Who would you give your man a match to? Who's really been the difference maker?
Well, I haven't really been impressed by many of the players on the Havant pitch tonight. Thought James Hayter's had a good game. I think he would be deserving up there for man of the match. Also as well, I thought Jordan Rose has had a good game driving forward. And also as well, I thought Blackfield has some good players as well play from them tonight. I thought Sam Poole in defence has done a good job. Sam Griffin showed a few glimmers of skill and what he could be capable of. But I'll probably give my man of the match tonight to James Hayter. You know, I think he came in quite nicely deep early on. He was always looking like the player that could get through the Blackfield defence, and he obviously killed this game off with that second goal, and I think he would be my man of the match if I had to pick one tonight.
The fourth official there issued a minimum of additional 4 minutes of added time to the end of this Hampshire FA Senior Cup final. Well, it's been a very convincing route to this final, Havant at Waterlooville. In the second round, defeating Fleet Spurs 9-1, defeating Moneyfields 3-0 in the third round, and then a very convincing 8-1 victory in the quarterfinal against Handball Club, and then a 2-0 victory in the semi-final against AFC Bournemouth, led them to this position here against Blackfield and Langley, and it looks they were destined to win this competition for the 9th time, and it looks like that's exactly what they're going to do. But Blackfield and Langley have put on a very fair occasion from them from the Wessex division side. A lot of difference in experience and quality between the two, but Blackfield and Langley have not shown away from the occasion whatsoever, and that's something that Havant Waterlooville and their boss Lee Bradbury will have to appreciate. They've really given them a game at points, and they could have easily gotten to this game themselves. Now we have Fogden on the right. He looks to keep it back, passes it back to Jordan Rose, who's been a very solid being tonight at the back. We have Mike Carter turning, passing it out to Lee Molyneux. It's forward now to Jason Pryor, who scored the 3rd goal for Havant. That's his 20th goal in all competitions this season. He's been on fire this season. One of the main reasons they've been doing as well they have been. And to have that quality coming off the bench really shows the intent that they have going forward in the next year or next couple of years. And that's a very cushioned, very calm header back from Jordan Rose there to goalkeeper Ben Dudzinski. As Fogden looks to hold the ball there. We have Carter to Fogden. Simple but effective pass around the back from Havant. It's Rose to Dudzinski, who looks to put it forward. And then once again they win it back. Again, that's experience coming in. Fitness levels possibly coming as well as through. we spoke about fitness levels early in the day, Chris, and it looks like at this stage now, with only like moments to go, well, of course fitness would be a factor. It looks like Blackfield and Langley they did well to last till this point.
Yes, they've done well to last this long. I think out of the two sides, as we already mentioned, they'll be the ones kicking themselves that they didn't take one of those golden opportunities they had earlier in the game. I think for Havant, this has just been more of a warm-up game, to be honest with you, just another kind of midweek league game they've seen this as, and it's just been comfortable for them. I don't think they've really been stretched with their squad, and I think it will probably take more sting out of the Blackfield players than Havant's players in the overall game.
Hawks boss Lee Bradbury said he's going to have a careful and considering approach to the Senior Cup final. The league is a priority, but it looks like despite that, they've done more than enough this evening. The score 3-0 only moments ago as they have won another corner, as it only should be only 1 minute possibly left for the end of this Hampshire FA Senior Cup final live here at St Mary's. Wes Fulton to take the corner kick. It's headed away by Blackfield and Langley. And now Liam Robinson has picked it up on the far right, looking to hold it to get it away. And the referee has blown the final whistle. It is all over here at St Mary's. A 3-0 victory for Havant and Waterlooville earns them their 9th Hampshire FA Senior Cup final. Blackfield and Langley, they came in this game down the dogs. A fantastic occasion for them, their first ever appearance in this final. A momentous day for them, win or lose. And a very fair result from both sides. Chris, what would you say of the showing today from both sides?
Well, I think it was quite a comfortable performance in the end for Havant. They did have a few shaky moments in the game where Blackfield could have got in, and we did speak that probably if Blackfield had taken one of those opportunities, it would have been probably a lot more of a different result. We could have been here maybe all night, you know, maybe going. I don't think Havant were spectacular, but they were workmanlike. Probably used some of their professional players, such as James Hayter scoring that deadly second goal to really take the sting out of the game, and that's obviously what's got them through to win the Hampshire FA Cup.
And as you said, Chris, it is Havant and Waterlooville's name that will be on the cup this year. And that is all from us today. Thank you for tuning in to this live broadcast from Solent Sports News. As we're now going to be cutting back to Linus Harrington and Ashley Wilby, who are pitch side.
Yes, it's full time here in the Hampshire Senior Cup final at St Mary's. And unfortunately, Havant and Waterlooville have sunk the Watersiders in Blackfield and Langley with 3-0. Do you think the scoreline reflects the performance that Blackfield have shown tonight?
I think of the first 60 minutes, no, but the last half an hour, as we saw at half time, Blackfield did unfortunately lack that energy to keep up. 3-0, you could argue to be harsh. I think there was plenty of chances for Blackfield to get a goal or two, but Havant unfortunately deserved winners.
Do you think it comes down to a case of they were putting everything into this game and they were holding out, only the one goal down, and do you think it was just a case of maybe they ran out of steam near the end there?
I think it was. You could see how tired they were towards the end. The second goal, the defence pushing forward and unable to really keep up with the play as Havant came back at them, and ball out wide, no pressure on him, good cross in, no man putting any pressure on the box. Let's take 1, 2, 3 touches before putting it in the back of the net, and that killed the game off.
And before we go into the goals from Havant and Waterlooville, big goal from James Hayter and Jason Pryor, their top goal scorer. When you look at Blackfield's chances they had in the game, I mean, Sam Griffin again, once again their talisman, had a really good chance, blocked off the line. What are your thoughts?
Well, the first 10 minutes, Havant and Waterlooville on the back foot. Blackfield had a really, really good chance, a strong call for a penalty in the first few minutes. Obviously, we're sitting in the stands, we haven't got the best view of it, but the referee has decided it wasn't a foul. We can't say whether or not that was the case. We have to trust that he has done it to the best of his ability. And there was really strong claims for it, and that's given. And if Blackfield put that away, it's a game turned around. And then, as you said, the chance for the number 6 cleared off the line by Molyneux, a fantastic block. Again, that could have completely changed the game. And as soon as that ball was headed away, you sort of saw Blackfield and Langley, their heads dropped, and Havant and Waterloo made them pay.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the goal line clearance from Lee Molyneux. Connor Doe found his way in the game as the game went on. The chance fell to him. I mean, 9 times out of 10 that hits the back of the net. We talk about Lee Molyneux, the block he's made there. How key was he in this game, keeping Leron Plummer quiet and showing why he was a player who used to play for Doncaster Rovers?
Yeah, he's a man of experience. He knows how to play at a top level, and he showed that. He was a top professional throughout the game, and that block changes the game. Without that block, like I said, 1-1, back in it, all the momentum's on their side, and you never know where it could have gone. But he showed his quality and showed why he was playing at a top level for so long.
Yeah, and it was James Hayter who found the second goal. We spoke about him highly in the first half and how he could be crucial in them getting that second goal. He did just that on the 80th minute mark. Smart play down the wing to a ball in, and he was cool, calm and collected. Just a case of the man showing his class, wasn't it?
Yeah, the man knows what he's doing. He knows how to find the back of the net. He's done it plenty of times this season, and he gets a sniff of goal and he puts it in comfortably. Nothing that Snelling can do about it, unfortunately. And from then on, Havant and Waterlooville made their class show, as they did throughout the first half.
We said briefly about Jason Pryor. Would we see him tonight with the pending promotion push? And then we did see him, and we saw him hitting the back of the net, doing what he does best, making it 25 goals for the season to really put the nail in the coffin against Blackfield.
Yeah, I was surprised he came on. He came on just after they made it 2-0. But he was like, you know what, I know what I'm doing. The great decision by Lee Bradbury, but he's giving it today. He's giving it to Jason Pryor, who's done a fantastic job, put the game to bed, showing why he's been their top striker this season.
Yeah, absolutely. We say obviously commiserations to Blackfield and Langley. And as we can see right now, clearly the trophy is being presented right now to Havant and Waterlooville. Thoroughly deserved. Shades of 2016 when they did win the trophy. There's 6 players in the squad tonight who were part of that team for actually. What a good moment it is, but we have to speak about Blackfield and how unfortunate they were tonight.
Yeah, commiserations to them. They put their heart on the line for it, and for the first 40 minutes, so they were really in the game, and for the first 50 minutes of the second half, they were really in it. And you know, on another day, 1 or 2 things go their way, and they could be looking at themselves as champions. Today's not that day, and we are looking at Havant and Waterlooville as being the champions. And
obviously, it's Glenn Howe's side who have unfortunately not lifted the trophy, and Glenn Howe's surely can't be disheartened too much by the performance. His team haven't come out on top tonight. They've got a chance at the Southampton Senior Cup final, and surely this is just a fantastic opportunity and a day out for them, playing against clearly an opposition which spoke about 44 places above them.
Exactly, and as you said, they've got another cup final on the 2nd of May back here, so they've got the experience of being at this ground. They know what they can expect when they come here next time, and when they come back here for that game against Hampton, they can have their heads held high.
I think it's definitely be a huge learning experience for both these sides. I mean, especially obviously Blackfield. You know, these players like James Hayter, Matt Tubbs lifting the trophy. They've been in games like this before. I mean, how good it would be for them? I mean, maybe a level they're playing at now to be able to lift the trophy and pass on and create players, giving them experience to be able to have moments like this.
Yeah, I think obviously they might say that they've had bigger days in their career, but you know, it's a trophy's a trophy. Silverware is silverware. You take what you want. But I think we talk about their quality, and as you see there, James Hayter getting the Man of the Match award for today. Quality performance from him, absolutely dominated the game for Havant and Waterlooville, and showed why he's considered one of the better players in that side.
Yes, James Hayter also scoring a goal at Wembley against Leeds in 2006. And I mean, look at them, his quality has been on show tonight from them, and it's fantastic to see that they are still getting the opportunity to be able to win trophies and be able to play at this level. And obviously Blackfield will appreciate him. They'll only get better playing against players like this, won't they?
Yeah, like I said, it's experience for them. They came in as heavy underdogs, they had nothing to lose, they gave their all, and they can't be faulted for what they did. You see the referee as well being given his medal, and that credit to him. I think he had a fantastic game today.
Yeah, I think if we look at the officials, definitely from the linesmen to the referees, all were on spot today. There was a lot of hard tackles going, a lot of decisions that could have gone either way, but the referee did let the game flow.
Yeah, around the 60th minute game, it seemed to be getting rather feisty and things getting a bit out of control, but he kept things under wrap. It wasn't a matter of there was a few dangerous tackles which could have got out of hand, but he kept things nice, calm, and showed why he should be proud of himself tonight.
What can Lee Bradbury say to his players? I mean, in a game which they are expected to win, we see them about to win the trophy, but I mean, surely this bodes so well for them in their certain push to be a place in the conference next year.
Well, I think the first word you get is well done. They've won the trophy and they've fully deserved it. They've been the better team on the day. And I think he can be proud. A lot of those players that were rotated into the squad for today have put themselves in a good spot.
And we look at Blackfield now also accepting their awards, and we've spoken numerously about at the end of this game about What a fantastic job they have done. 44 places below, 2 divisions below, and also on the cusp of being in, and they are being promoted to the Southern Premier League next year. So obviously this experience like this is only going to help them going forward, isn't it?
Yeah, they're going to be going into a new league next season against a stronger opposition, and they've got a chance to play against the top side in the area, so they'll get to know what they can expect going up. They can hold their heads high today. They played really, really well. They've got nothing to be ashamed of, gave their all, and that's nothing more than you can ask of them.
Absolutely, we'll see. I mean, I think games like this for them haven't come often this season where they've had to sit back and contain. We see Leroy and Plummer there accepting his award. He'll be bitterly disappointed. He was seemingly isolated up front, had 1 or 2 chances when he wasn't much in the game and unfortunately couldn't take them. Saw him subbed off. I mean, what do you say to a player like that to rebuild a bit of confidence to him?
Well, I think it's a matter of trying their best, but you know, they got beaten. He was shut out by a better team, beaten by Havant Waterlooville. The champions will help to get their trophy now.
Absolutely, and thoroughly deserved. We see the players making their way over to the trophy, which is just a stepping stone for them, as we'll see when they have the chance to maybe play in the conference next year. This is something that's only going to help them. What a moment for this Southern National South League side. Captain Brian Stock, the man accepting the trophy, former Welsh international. What a moment it will be for him, along with a quality side, thoroughly deserved in their efforts tonight to lift this trophy. They could have underestimated Blackfield. Huge commiserations to them. You see the owner crowning around Brian Stock for the trophy. And Havant and Waterlooville have done it 2 times in 3 years. Havant and Waterlooville champions. That's all from us. Commiserations to Blackfield. But what an effort from Havant and Waterlooville.
It's been a great night here at St Mary's. Congratulations to Havant and Waterlooville. Commiserations to Blackfield. Actually, I think it's a good night overall.
Absolutely. What a day out it is for Blackfield and Langley. Unfortunately, come across a better team tonight. And massive congratulations to Havant and Waterlooville. 2 times in 3 years. They are the 2018 Hampshire Senior Cup champions. Yeah, it is. Once again, massive congratulations to Havant and Waterlooville. What a performance from them. They are your 2018 Hampshire Senior Cup champions. Make sure you tune in next year to see if anyone can take the title from Havant and Waterlooville. Happy? Hello? Should I throw it to the players in the tunnel? Give me a thumbs up. And we can cross live over to the tunnel now, where a couple of our team are talking to a couple of players about the reaction to the victory here tonight.